Chapter 1581. Liang Jinchao was willing, but Dr. Sun was not. Sister, do you think that I haven't been taught a lesson by my family's old woman enough? What if I lose my life after I cure your daughter? Don't say anything. I've already done my best to help you save the child. I won't help you look for another doctor. Seeing Dr. Sun's angry and determined look, Liang Jinchao knew that no matter how much he owed Dr. Sun would not listen to him. Dr. Sun hurriedly waved his hand and said, Okay, stop talking. There are thousands of doctors. It's not like you can't find someone else. Why do you have to harm me? Hurry up and pay for the medical expenses. I have to go back. Liang Jinchao sighed and had no choice but to agree. The medical expenses this time were not cheap. It cost a total of 2 taels of silver. Liang Jinchao counted the money she had on hand. There were only a few taels of silver left. She had to prepare for Zhao Yun's wedding later. She didn't know if it was enough to spend. In Zhao Ping's current situation, she naturally had to help pay for the 2 taels of silver. However, if the injury on Zhao Ping's buttocks was not treated, it would only get worse if it was delayed. She had to continue to find a doctor to take a look at Zhao Ping. Dr. Sun took a bottle of ointment and asked Liang Jinchao to help Zhao Ping. As for the effect, Dr. Sun could not guarantee that it could cure the injury on Zhao Ping's buttocks. It was better than nothing. A dog bite was not a trivial matter, so it had to be dealt with properly. Many people ended up dying because of dog bites. After sending Dr. Sun away, Liang Jinchao looked at Zhao Ping lying on the bed. She felt very distressed, but there was nothing she could do. Ping, girl, it's a good thing that the child in your belly is safe. Later, find another doctor to take a look at the injury on your buttocks. It should be able to be cured. Zhao Ping gritted her teeth in pain and said to Liang Jinchao fiercely, Mother, it's all because of Zhao Yun's damn dog that I'm so miserable. When Zhao Yun comes back, I must seek justice. I must make her skin that damn dog and stew it. Liang Jinchao sighed. She knew that Zhao Yun treasured Little Black very much. It was impossible to let Zhao Yun kill Little Black. It was impossible. You can't bite the dog. You. Zhao Ping's heart was filled with anger. How could she be willing to let Little Black go? Mother, no, I don't agree. In any case, I must skin that damn dog. Otherwise, I won't be able to swallow this anger. Ping, girl, you know Yun's temper. Little Black is her dog. If she doesn't agree, then you can't touch it. Zhao Ping pursed her lips and said to Liang Jinchao with an aggrieved face, Mother, you only know how to favor Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun's dog almost caused the child in my belly to die. It's fine if I don't get even with her, but can't I get even with a dog? Can a dog's life be compared to the child in my belly? Mother, look at how badly I've been injured by this damn dog. Liang Jinchao glanced at Zhao Ping. Indeed, Zhao Ping was seriously injured. Little Black had gone too far this time. Sigh. Let's wait for Yun to come back and tell Yun. Let's see what Yun says. Chapter 1582. Alright. Ping, don't be angry. Lie down on the bed and rest for a while. Mother will boil some hot water and bring it over to wipe your body. At this time, Zhao Ping not only smelled of urine on her head, but there was also blood between her thighs. She had to wash it properly. Zhao Ping was very weak and did not have the energy to make a fuss. She could only let Liang Jinchao go. She thought that she did not have to set up the breakfast stall anymore. She and Ma Xiaofeng were both injured. It was really a coincidence. Liang Jinchao went out of the third branch's room, boiled some hot water, and cleaned up Zhao Ping. Then, he went to the second branch's room and checked on Zhao Wenshui. Zhao Wenshui's situation was not optimistic. He was seriously injured and was lying on the bed, crying out in pain. After being sent to the second branch's room, Zhao Wenshui had an idea. He felt that it was not bad luck that he was injured this time. Now, he could find an excuse to let Liang Jinchao take care of him. He could not move in bed. Liang Jinchao should at least take care of his food and drink. As long as he had food every day, it was okay for him to be injured. Zhao Wenshui was a little unhappy when he thought about how he asked Hu Chunhua for food and was scolded by Hu Chunhua. He did not care about Zhao Jing, and Zhao Tianyu. He let them eat behind Hu Chunhua and he ate alone in the third branch's room. The food in the third branch's room was good and he could enjoy it for a while. Liang Jinchao glanced at Zhao Wenshui and asked, "Second brother, how are you? Third sister-in-law, are you blind? Can't you see how I am now?" "Ah. Second brother, I'm sorry. Thanks to you today." "Third sister-in-law, what's the use of saying that? You have to be responsible for me." Liang Jinchao was slightly stunned and said, "Second brother. I'll call Dr. Sun for you now. I forgot to let Dr. Sun take a look at your injury just now." Liang Jinchao said with a tinge of guilt in her voice. "There's no need for that, but third sister-in-law, I'm injured and can't get out of bed. I need to recuperate in bed. You have to bring me some food every day, right?" Liang Jinchao thought for a moment and hurriedly replied, "Brother Tingrui, that's not a problem. I'll send some over to you when I have my meal. But are you sure you don't want Dr. Sun to take a look at your injuries?" "It's fine. I wasn't bitten. It's just a scratch. I'll be fine after some rest," Zhao Wenshui said nonchalantly. The reason why Zhao Wenshui didn't want Dr. Sun to come over and take a look was that he was afraid that Dr. Sun would say that it was fine after taking a look at it. He would then apply some ointment on it and it would be fine in a few days. How could he freeload off the third branch's food for a while then? Liang Jinchao sighed. "All right then, second brother. Have a good rest. If there's anything, just tell me." Got it. Then I'll leave first." "Okay." Liang Jinchao left the second branch's room and went to take care of Zhao Ping, again. On the other hand, Zhao Yun, picked mint from the mountain. During this season, there were many wildflowers on the mountain. Zhao Yun, picked a lot of wildflowers back and weaved 2 garlands, one on her head and the other on Daoda's head. After dressing up, the pink and tender Daoda became as delicate as a porcelain doll. Zhao Yun stared at Daoda with satisfaction and said with a smile, "You look good. Mother, you look good with a garland too. You look like a fairy from heaven." Chapter 1583. Daoda shook his head. "No, Daoda has never seen one before. But Daddy and Daoda said that fairies from the heavens are very beautiful. Since Mother is so beautiful right now, then you must be a fairy from the heavens." Zhao Yun was amused by Daoda's words. He was so sweet at such a young age, what would he be like when he grew up? Daoda should be able to grow into a graceful and elegant young man by the time he was 17 or 18 years old. Coupled with what he was saying to her now, his flirting skills should be very good. She would definitely be able to bring back a daughter-in-law without even doing anything herself. With that thought, Zhao Yun felt that her precious son was becoming more and more promising. He was much better than Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng's flirting skills were probably not even half of Daodu's. "Is that so? Is Mother really that beautiful?" Daoda nodded heavily and said in a soft voice, "Of course, Mother. You are the most beautiful person Daodu has ever heard of." It was said that beauty was in the eye of the beholder. It turned out that in her son's eyes, she could also become a beauty. Zhao Yun was amused by Daodu and was in a very good mood. She held Daodu's hand and was about to go down the mountain when she suddenly saw the figure of a familiar plant on the mountain. Zhao Yun looked into the depths of the forest and saw a few red things among the sparse green leaves. It was a raspberry. If she wasn't wrong, it should be a raspberry. Zhao Yun said to Daodu, "Daodu, just stand here for a while. Mother will go in and take a look." Daodu raised his cute little face and asked Zhao Yun, "Mother, what are you going to see?" Zhao Ping touched Daodu's face and said, "You have to see if it's delicious. If it's delicious, I'll pick it for you to eat." "Oh, mother, then you go." Yeah. Zhao Yun walked towards the depths of the forest. Fortunately, it was broad daylight, so there shouldn't be any danger. However, there were too many weeds on the ground, so it was easy to get scratched. Especially the thorns on the ground. They had thorns, and when they pierced into the flesh, it would be very painful. That was why Zhao Yun had asked Daodu to stand still and not come in. Otherwise, it wouldn't be worth hurting Daodu. After spending a lot of effort, Zhao Yun finally walked in. When she got closer, she realized that it was indeed a raspberry. This season was the time when the raspberries were ripe. They covered the shed and grew on the stems. They were bright red and made people drool just by looking at them. Looking at the large patch of raspberries growing, they couldn't finish it no matter how many they picked. Zhao Yun hurriedly tore off a raspberry and stuffed it into her mouth. A sweet taste filled her entire mouth, along with the fragrance of the fruit. Zhao Yun remembered that when she was young, she followed behind her grandfather in the countryside. There were many raspberries on the back mountain of her grandfather's house. When the raspberries ripened, many children in the village would run up the mountain to pick them. At that time, children had too few snacks. Raspberries were sweet and sour, and were very tempting to children. However, because there were too many people picking the raspberries, each person could only eat a small portion during the ripening period. Although she could eat more fruits when she grew up, they were not as delicious as the raspberries in her memory. When she returned to the city, she didn't eat raspberries anymore. She didn't expect that she would eat raspberries again after she transmigrated. Perhaps it was God's blessing for her. No matter what, seeing so many raspberries made Zhao Yun very excited. Chapter 1584. Looking at so many raspberries, Zhao Yun was satisfied and carried the basket on her back. Then she came out of the woods and walked to Lil P with a handful of raspberries in her hand. "Here, Daodu, try it and see if it's delicious." Daodu looked at the bright red fruit and didn't know what a raspberry was. He looked up and asked Zhao Yun, "Mother, what is this? Is it delicious?" Zhao Yun patiently explained to Daodu, "This thing is called a raspberry. It's sweet and sour, and it's delicious. Try it." "Aha!" Daodu responded in a soft voice. Then, he grabbed a raspberry from Zhao Yun's hand and stuffed it into his mouth. After tasting the sweet taste, Daodu's small eyes narrowed in satisfaction. Then, he smiled at Zhao Yun and said, "Mother, it's really delicious. That's for sure. Here, Daodu, grab some for yourself and eat as we walk. Mother still has a lot of raspberries in her basket." "Okay." Daodu grabbed a handful of raspberries and followed Zhao Yun. The mother and son ate as they walked down the mountain. After picking so many raspberries, Zhao Yun guessed that the children would like to eat them. First, she went to give some raspberries to Mulan's children. The villagers didn't go to the mountains often, and there weren't any raspberries at the foot of the mountain, so they hadn't seen them before. When Zhao Yun brought them over, it was the first time the children had eaten them. Seeing the satisfied smiles on the children's faces as they ate the raspberries, Zhao Yun couldn't help but smile. She was in a very good mood. Because she picked so many raspberries, even though she gave a lot to Mulan's family, she still had a lot left. These raspberries had to be eaten within a day or two. Otherwise, they would spoil easily like strawberries. It would be a waste if they couldn't eat them. However, if they couldn't finish them, Xiao Yun had a way to keep the raspberries. These raspberries were similar to blueberries and strawberries. They could be made into raspberry jam, which would taste better when eaten. Mulan saw that Xiao Yun brought something good over again and said embarrassedly, Yun, look at you. You like to give anything good to us. I'm so embarrassed. Xiao Yun smiled and said, it's okay, it's just some wild fruit. It's not something good. Sister Mulan, you don't have to be so polite with me. It's not easy for you to come back. If Dowdu likes it, Dowdu. Dowdu can eat. Dowdu gave Mulan a sweet smile and said, and Mulan, Dowdu can't finish it alone. He wants to share it with brother San, and sister Dohua and Erhua. It was rare for such a young child to share with others. Mulan stroked Dowdu's head and said, thank you, Dowdu. You're welcome. Ha, Sister Mulan. It's good that the children like it. I'll pick some more when I go up the mountain. Mulan was embarrassed to ask Xiao Yun to send more to their family, so she said to Xiao Yun, Yun, next time you go up the mountain, call me. Let's go up the mountain together and pick some more. Xiao Yun agreed with a smile. Seeing the children eating happily, Mulan was also happy. After all, life was too hard. If you could eat good food every day, the children wouldn't care so much about eating raspberries. Chapter 1585. When Mulan saw the children eating raspberries, she suddenly remembered that she still had watermelons in her family's fields. In fact, fields in the countryside were relatively rare. Very few farmers were willing to use their fields to grow watermelons and the like. After all, these things were not as practical as food. It just so happened that they had just separated this year, so they could freely use their fields. In the beginning, Mulan and Xiao Yun sold breakfast together, so their income was good. They did not rely on the few plots of land at home to survive. Previously, the children had mentioned to her that they wanted to eat watermelons. Since it was the season to plant watermelons, Mulan asked Zhu Eru to plant some. They did not plant too much, only a little bit of land. They did not sell these watermelons, but it was enough for their family to eat. Hearing Mulan's words, Xiao Yun was a little expectant. Watermelons were the best fruit to quench thirst, especially in this kind of weather. It would probably be hot in half a month. They picked a watermelon from the ground and soaked it in the well water. The iced watermelon was very refreshing to eat. Xiao Yun and Mulan were polite. She smiled and said, okay, then we will be blessed. Haha, of course. Yun, if you want to eat it, you can continue to plant it now. Our family planted spring crops. You can plant summer crops now. You can eat it in about August. Xiao Yun heard Mulan's words and felt that it was quite good. It was still very hot in August. It was just right to eat some watermelons. After the third branch separated from old Zhao's family, they were given a few acres of land. Later, he would tell Zhao Wenhua and ask Zhao Wenhua to plant some watermelons. Okay, then I will plant some later. If the children like it, I will plant it for them. Yeah, we don't have anything good to eat usually. The few fields that we were reluctant to part with in the past can be moved out now. Let's plant it for them. We can also get something to eat while we are at it. Okay. As the two of them were talking, Zhu Qiao walked to Mulan and pulled Mulan's hand. Second aunt, Qiao also wants to eat. Zhu Qiao pointed to the raspberries in the children's hands. Mulan smiled awkwardly. Zhu Qiao wanted it personally. As an aunt, if she did not give it to her, wouldn't it be too stingy? Thus, Mulan looked at the children and said to De Hua, Hua, and San can you share some for Qiao, San straightforwardly took out a handful of raspberries and handed them to Zhu Qiao. Come, Sister Qiao, you eat. Zhu Qiao took the raspberry from San hand and ate it happily. After a while, the RTO eat the raspberries, Qiao, 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 Qiao to eat to Qiao. Zhu Qiao stretched out her hand in front of De Hua and Hua, indicating that De Hua and Hua should give her some. De Hua and Hua were naturally unhappy. Didn't San already give it to you? Qiao to eat, Qiao, I haven't eaten enough. You have to give me some. Zhu Qiao said matter-of-factly. Qiao's attitude made Qiao even more unhappy. Why should we give it to you? You have eaten and you still want to eat. Yeah, it's not like we didn't give it to you. Why do you always want to snatch our food? I won't give it to you anyway. I won't give it to you either. Chapter 1586. Mulan frowned. She couldn't do anything if the children didn't want to give it to Zhu Qiao. Moreover, it wasn't that she didn't give it to Zhu Qiao, but Zhu Qiao continued to ask for it after eating it. Mulan didn't like Zhu Qiao. This child liked to do things according to her temperament. In the end, it was the adults who didn't discipline her well. Zhu Qiao took it for granted that she would ask for things from others. She was just like Madame Qi. If she gave it to her this time, she would probably ask for more next time. So, she couldn't start this and continue to spoil her. So, Mulan said patiently, Qiao, didn't San give you some just now? They don't have much left now, so they can't give it to you anymore. Zhu Qiao glared at Mulan and complained unhappily, Second aunt, you're so stingy. With that, Zhu Qiao ran away. Mulan was slightly stunned, and there was a touch of bitterness in the corner of her mouth. She actually said that she was stingy. Mulan didn't want to argue with a child. After all, children's words carried no harm. If she argued, it would be her fault. After sighing in her heart, Mulan decided not to take Zhu Qiao's words to heart. Zhao Yun watched from the side and was a little speechless. Sure enough, like the adults, like the children. Children were born with similar temperaments. They had to rely on the guidance and education of adults. People like Zhu Dainiu and Madame Qi taught Zhu Qiao to be a little willful. She thought that she could get whatever she wanted and didn't care if others were willing or not. She wasn't grateful for what others shared. Instead, she was insatiably greedy. This kind of child would be a scourge to society when she grew up. Although she still had a lot of raspberries in her basket, she didn't like to give them to such a brat. Zhu Qiao ran away from Mulan and went to Madame Qi. Mother, I want to eat the wild fruits that San and the others eat, but second aunt won't give it to me. Madame Qi finally finished weaving a basket. Now that she was taking a break to catch her breath, Zhu Qiao went to her and annoyed her again. If you don't want to eat it, then don't eat it. What's the use of telling me, you damned girl? Hearing the displeasure in Madame Qi's tone, Zhu Qiao pursed her lips. Mother, Qiao wants to eat. Go and talk to second aunt and get some for Qiao. After Madame Qi rested, she was unwilling to move. She waved her hand and said, if you can't get it, how can I get it? Zhu Qiao pouted even more and looked at her with dissatisfaction. Mother, you're not treating Qiao well. Qiao will tell father later. Father will definitely scold you. Although Zhu Qiao was young, she was able to observe the relationship between adults. Other things couldn't scare Madame Qi, but Zhu Dainiu was the only person she was afraid of. Madame Qi listened to Zhu Qiao's words. This damn child actually knew how to use Zhu Dainu to scare her. However, Madame Chi was frightened. After all, Zhu Dainu was very serious when he got angry. He might do something to her. If she was beaten up by Zhu Dainu, she would lose a layer of skin. Madame Chi struggled in her heart and finally stood up. Okay. Mother will get it for you. Zhu Qiao nodded with satisfaction. Okay. Madame Chi went to Mulan and said to Mulan, second sister-in-law, my Qiao just wants some wild fruits to eat. Why don't you give it to her? You're Qiao's second aunt. Why are you so stingy? Chapter 1587. Madame Chi snorted. What do you mean by already giving a handful? Children like to eat, so can't you give them more? Stingy. Listening to Madame Chi's scolding, Xiao Yun felt that it was extremely ironic. She didn't know where Madame Chi got the cheek to say that Mulan was stingy. I say, sister-in-law Mulan, you're wrong. You said that Mulan is stingy, but why is it that every time I see Mulan giving your children food, I don't see you giving Mulan and the other children anything to eat? If we're talking about stinginess, I think that sister-in-law Mulan is far inferior to you. Moreover, even if Mulan wants to give, the things are in the hands of the children. If the children don't give, what can she do? Xiao Yun's words left Madame Chi speechless. Madame Chi thought about it. Indeed, she had never given Mulan's children anything. It was always Mulan's family who gave her children food. Madame Chi's gaze fell on the raspberries in Xiao Yun's basket, and she said to Xiao Yun, my second sister-in-law doesn't have them, but don't you have so many in your basket? What's wrong with giving some to my Qiao? How much can a child eat? Xiao Yun felt that Madame Chi was simply baffling. She wasn't related to Zhu Qiao, so why should she give her things to Zhu Qiao? Thinking about it, Zhu Qiao was a little better before, and her temperament wasn't so strange. During this period of time, she was probably spoiled by Zhu Dainu and influenced by Madame Chi's behavior, so she became like this. After all, adults had a deep influence on children, and children would imitate adults' behavior and way of doing things. At this time, Madame Chi didn't reason with Zhu Qiao and discipline this child. Instead, she came to her and Mulan to say these things. This would only make Zhu Qiao feel that she was right to ask for things. Why should I give? Even if it's thrown away, that's my business. Unless I take the initiative to give it to them, no one will be left behind. Although your Qiao is a child and has nothing to do with me, if you want to eat it, go up the mountain and get it for her yourself. There are many of them on the mountain. When Madame Chi heard this, she gritted her teeth and said unhappily, if you don't want to give it to me, then don't give it to me. After saying that, he turned around and left in a huff. Zhu Qiao looked at Madame Chi anxiously. Qiao, you heard it yourself. Mother asked for it for you. If others don't give it to Mother, there's nothing Mother can do. Zhu Qiao pursed her lips. Thinking about the taste of raspberries, she felt a little indignant. Mother, didn't you say that we can pick raspberries to eat in the mountains? Why don't you go to the mountain and pick some for me too? Qiao, the mountain is dangerous. There are many man-eating monsters. If you go up there, you might even lose your life. It's not worth it for this little bit of food. But Qiao really wants to eat. I say, why don't you listen to me? You want to eat it, but I can't get it. I even asked for it for you just now. What can I do if they don't give it to me? Even if I ask your father, it's not unreasonable. All right, don't make a fuss in front of me. I still have to continue weaving baskets. Mother, why are you so annoying? Can't you see that your mother is busy? Boo-hoo, Zhu Qiao cried aggrievedly. Madame Chi was really at her wits' end. She could only say, "Don't cry. If you really want to eat it, wait for your father to come back and tell him to go up the mountain to pick it, okay?" Chapter 1588. Seeing that Zhu Qiao was no longer making a fuss and pushing all the blame to Zhu Dainyu, Madame Qi heaved a heavy sigh of relief. If this child were to make a fuss again, she wouldn't know what to do. She was already tired to death every day and her head hurt badly. Now that Zhu Qiao was making a fuss, the pain was unbearable. Speaking of Zhu Dainyu, at this time the sun was very hot. After Zhu Dainyu woke up early to do some work, the sun was very strong in the fields. He was very hot, so he came back with a hoe. "Mother, father is back." Zhu Qiao shouted in surprise. Madame Qi greeted Zhu Qiao, "Go and tell your father when he's back." "Yes, yes." Zhu Qiao quickly ran to Zhu Dainyu. "What's wrong, Qiao?" Zhu Dainyu rubbed Zhu Qiao's head and asked. "Father, Qiao wants to eat something. It's on the mountain. Can you pick it for Qiao?" Zhu Dainyu asked curiously, "What is it? Tell me first, then I can agree." Zhu Qiao pointed to the raspberries in the children's hands and said, "Father, it's that red fruit. It's delicious. It's on the mountain." Zhu Dainyu took a look and frowned. So it was something for children to eat. It looked like a snake fruit. "Qiao, it's very dangerous on the mountain. Father won't go. If you want to eat something later, father will go to town to buy it for you." For so many years, the villagers didn't dare to go into the mountain. If they encountered some wild beasts, no one would know if they were eaten, except for some hunters who had no choice but to go to the mountain to make a living. So Zhu Dainyu didn't dare. It wasn't worth it for children to eat. However, Zhu Qiao was unhappy. "No, father, I want to eat this." "But father can't get it. If something happens to father in the mountain, who will feed the family in the future?" Zhu Qiao didn't understand this. She threw a tantrum and said, "No, no, I want to eat it. Qiao wants to eat this." Zhu Dainyu was in a bit of a dilemma. Seeing Zhu Qiao making a fuss, he felt very uncomfortable. Madame Qi walked over and complained in front of Zhu Dainyu, "Dainyu, look at Qiao. She's getting more and more out of hand. Just now, I asked Zhao Yun, her and second sister-in-law for some, but I couldn't get any. I told her that the mountain was dangerous and she couldn't go, but she insisted on eating." Zhu Dainyu glanced at Zhu Qiao, then glanced at the basket on her back and sighed helplessly. "Since I can't get it for free, I'll just spend some money to buy some." Therefore, Zhu Dainyu walked up to Zhao Yuner and asked politely, "Miss Yuner, I see that you still have a lot of fruits left after carrying them. I don't think you can finish them. Why don't you see if you can sell some to my family? Qiao is really noisy." Zhao Yuner directly refused, "I'm sorry, I have other uses for them if I can't finish them. I can't sell them to you. Miss Yuner. If you can't, sell less so that Qiao won't make a fuss anymore." Zhao Yuner curled her lips, "Just let the child make a fuss. It's not a problem. There must be other ways to make her stop crying, right? As an adult, don't you know how to discipline her? If you really want to buy it, I'll sell it to you for 200 copper coins per catty. Half a catty is 100 copper coins." Hearing so much money, Madame Qi hurriedly interrupted, "Zhao Yuner, you're asking for too much. 200 copper coins per catty. Even meat isn't as expensive as this." Chapter 1589. Madame Qi couldn't win against Zhao Yuner, so she tugged at Zhu Dainyu's sleeve and said, "Dainyu, why buy this? It's 200 copper coins per catty. We don't know how many catties of meat we can buy with this. If we save this money, we can't buy any good food later. Qiao, don't let her do as she pleases." Zhu Dainyu thought about it and agreed. It was a few copper coins per caddy. It was still possible to buy a caddy for Zhu Qiao. However, it was only a few hundred copper coins. How could it be worth it? Then don't buy it. Zhu Dania said. Father. Qiao just wants to eat this. Originally, Zhu Dania wanted to go along with Zhu Qiao. Since it was so expensive and Zhu Qiao was still making a fuss, Zhu Dania lectured Zhu Qiao with a cold face. Qiao, I'll give you whatever you want. As long as I can give it, I'll give it to you. However, this thing is very expensive. Why do you still want to eat it? Isn't it better to buy a few more caddies of meat later? Zhu Qiao pursed her lips. Seeing San and Erhua eating happily, she swallowed a few mouthfuls of saliva. Zhu Qiao wasn't stupid. She knew how to read people's expressions. If Zhu Dania didn't look good, he would definitely not agree to buy it for her. No matter how much she made a fuss, it would be useless. If she continued to make a fuss, she might even be beaten with a stick. Father. You said that you have to buy meat for Qiao later. Zhu Qiao emphasized. She was afraid that Zhu Dania would go back on his words. In the end, she wouldn't be able to eat the raspberries or the meat. Zhu Dania nodded and said, Okay, I'll definitely do what I promised Qiao. Madame Qi was excited when she heard that Zhu Dania wanted to buy meat. She hadn't eaten meat for a while and was dying of hunger. She didn't expect to be able to eat at this time with Zhu Qiao's help. Seeing that Zhu Dania didn't want to buy the raspberries, Zhao Yuner stopped arguing with him. She didn't stay at Mulan's house for long before leaving with Daodu. On the way back, Zhao Yuner put down the basket on her back and went to the third branch first. She would come back in the afternoon to prepare the remaining raspberries into raspberry jam. Xiao He also didn't know which corner it came out from. It came to Zhao Yun, and turned around. Zhao Yun noticed something unusual about Little Black and asked, Little Black, what's wrong? Little Black barked a few times and wagged its tail even more vigorously, becoming even more clingy towards her. Zhao Yun didn't understand dog language, so she couldn't understand Blackie's words. Okay, Little Black, don't stick to me. I have to go to my mother's place. Zhao Yun said. However, Xiao He continued to pester Zhao Yuner, refusing to let Zhao Yuner leave. Zhao Yuner was very puzzled. Xiao He's behavior seemed to be because of something. Little Black, let's go together. Tian is still at my mother's place. I don't know how Tian is now. I have to go and take a look. Seeing that it couldn't stop Zhao Yuner, Xiao He felt a little guilty and seemed disappointed. Zhao Yuner frowned and wondered if something had happened. Xiao He's reaction was strange. Little Black, aren't you going? Zhao Yuner called out. Xiao He lay on the ground and whimpered a few times, but didn't get up. Zhao Yuner sighed. Okay, then you don't have to go. I'm going. I'll bring you some food later. You can stay at home and accompany Xiao Mao. Whoa. Xiao He continued to whimper. Zhao Yuner sighed and left with Daodu. She wondered if Xiao He was sick. Chapter 1590. It was not like in the 21st century, where dogs could be taken to a pet hospital. Zhao Yun was going to wait and see. Maybe Little He was fine. Little He was not an ordinary dog. It should not be so fragile. It was not until Zhao Yun brought Daodu to the third branch that she understood why Little He did not follow. It turned out that it knew that it had done something bad and was afraid of being punished, so it simply avoided it. Zhao Yun sighed helplessly. This Little He was really smarter than humans. Once they arrived at old Zhao's house, Feng Zhangxia saw Zhao Yun coming over. She pulled Xiao Yun aside and told her about what had happened in old Zhao's house just now. After Xiao Yun heard it, she was a little stunned. Her family's little He was really brave. A dog that had not fully grown up actually beat up both Xiao Ping and Zhao Wenxue. However, Xiao Yun happened to hate these two people. It was good that little He taught them a lesson this time. Let these two people suffer, otherwise, they would be so lively on normal days. At this time, Liang Jinchao also came out of the house. She sighed in front of Xiao Yun and said a lot of things. The meaning of his words revealed that he was worried about Zhao Ping and blamed little He. Xiao Yun was very clear about little He. As long as it was not provoked, little He would never bite people. Since it bit Xiao Ping it must be Xiao Ping who did something. So when Liang Jinchao scolded little He, Xiao Yun did not listen at all. Yun, your family's little He is very fierce. It is more dangerous now. You'd better buy a chain to tie it up. Otherwise, it will not be good if it hurts others. After all, Ping is one of us. If she's injured, no one will pursue the matter. Liang Jinchao reminded. Zhao Yun'er pursed her lips and faintly replied, Mother, I think my little black is quite good. It hasn't bitten anyone for so long. Normally, the people bitten by little black were definitely not good people. This time, it's probably Sister Ping who provoked little black, right? Liang Jinchao sighed. Actually, Ping didn't do anything. Xiao He is too hot-tempered. He's only targeting Ping. Xiao Yun snorted, Mother, don't think that little black is just a dog, it's actually very smart. He understood everything you said. Ping didn't do anything. Did she say anything? Liang Jinchao frowned. I don't think so, no. Mother, that's impossible. Out of so many people, my little black didn't bite, but he insisted on Ping. I don't believe it. Seeing that Zhao Yun was completely protecting little black, and then thinking about it, Xiao Ping did say that she wanted to skin little black and eat dog meat, and Zhao Yun hit little black first. Little black resisted. Liang Jinchao felt guilty and didn't say anything else. Whether little black was punished or not, it was still up to Xiao Ping to decide. Let Xiao Ping make a fuss. She was in the middle, so it wasn't easy for her to mediate this matter. At this moment, Xiao Ping was lying miserably in the third room. Xiao Yun didn't even look at her. Instead, she walked to the cradle, picked up Tian Tian from the cradle, and coaxed Tian Tian gently. Tian Tian, Xiao Yun called. Tian Tian giggled, revealing a sweet smile. The pink and tender baby melted Xiao Yun's heart. Xiao Yun hugged Tian Tian and swayed a few times. Chapter 1591. Mother, Xiao Ping was injured now and her body was very weak. It was very difficult for her to even speak loudly. Liang Jinchao heard Xiao Ping's call and hurriedly responded. Ping, what's wrong? Mother, is Xiao Yun back? Hurry up and ask her to come in and give me a proper explanation. Liang Jinchao frowned and hurriedly responded. Then, he said to Xiao Yun, do you want to go in and have a word with Ping? Xiao Yun felt that it was very ironic. Ask her for an explanation. What kind of explanation could she give? This matter was clearly Xiao Ping's fault. Was she supposed to apologize or compensate her? Or hand little black over to Xiao Ping for her to deal with? These were all impossible. Xiao Yun was a person who would protect her own. Since little black was her dog, no one could touch a single strand of little black's fur. Thus, Xiao Yun calmly replied to Liang Jinchao, Mother, what do you want me to say to Sister Ping? Say. Liang Jinchao stuttered at Zhao Yun's question. He didn't know how to answer Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun curled her lips and chuckled. Mother, since there's nothing to say, then I won't go in. Liang Jinchao was a little anxious for a moment. Given Zhao Ping's condition, she couldn't get angry. The more Zhao Yun refused to go in and didn't say anything, the more Zhao Ping would make a fuss. It wouldn't be good if her injuries were to worsen. Zhao Yun ignored Liang Jinchao and played with Tian instead. Because the child was well nourished, the meat on her face was increasing day by day. She was as chubby as a doll. Seeing that Zhao Yun was taking a long time to come in, Zhao Ping impatiently urged her again. Liang Jinchao sighed and entered the room of the third branch. Zhao Ping heard Liang Jinchao's words and got up from the bed a little angrily. Mother, if that *TCH doesn't come in, I'll go out and reason with her. Liang Jinchao hurriedly stopped Zhao Ping. Ping, you're still seriously. Listen to me, let's forget about this matter. Anyway, we won't be able to reason with her. After all, Little Black is a dog. How can we blame a dog for what it did? Animals don't understand human nature. We can't argue with animals, right? Zhao Ping shook her head. Mother, you're wrong. Zhao Ping's dog doesn't understand human nature. It's even more shrewd than humans. It deliberately wanted to bite me and made me like this. Anyway, I have to skin that damn dog and eat its meat. But you're seriously injured now. Why don't you wait until you're better before talking to Yun about this matter? Why don't you rest well now? No. Mother, I have to go now. You see, isn't Zhao Yun too much? I'm so seriously injured that I almost couldn't keep the child in my belly. Is it possible that I'm worse than a dog? What right does she have to treat me like this? Even if she wants to reason with Li Zheng, it's her fault. Liang Jinchao was very tired. No matter what she said or did now, it wouldn't please her two daughters. Since Zhao Ping was so insistent, Liang Jinchao could only let Zhao Ping do as she pleased. All right. Little Ping, even if you want to go out, you should be careful. Don't hurt yourself. Got it. Zhao Ping replied impatiently and then slowly walked out of the room. Chapter 1592. Zhao Yun you *TCH, how can you bully people like this? Look at what your dog has done to me. Hurry up and hand over Little Black. I'm going to kill that damn dog of yours. Zhao Yun curled her lips and looked at Zhao Ping's angry face. What do you mean I'll hand it over or not? If you want to settle the score with Little Black, you can do it yourself. Zhao Yun replied indifferently and did not even look at Zhao Ping as she continued to play with Tian in her arms. Zhao Ping was almost angered to death by Zhao Yun. This *TCH said this because she was sure that she would not be able to find Little Black. Anyway, I don't care. Zhao Yun you have to hand over Little Black to me. Look at the injuries on my body, you have to compensate me properly, right? Including the child that I almost miscarried, you have to compensate me at least 10 taels of silver. Zhao Yun's lips curled up and the smile on her lips was mysterious and unfathomable, making people puzzled. 10 taels of silver. So much. 10 taels of silver was enough to live a good life in the countryside. This Zhao Ping was really demanding an exorbitant price. Zhao Ping said angrily, is 10 taels of silver a lot? Zhao Yun don't go too far. Is the child in my belly not worth 10 taels of silver? It's indeed not worth it. You're too much. Zhao Ping pointed at Zhao Yun and scolded her with gritted teeth. Sister Ping, I didn't hurt you. If you want compensation, you can talk to my little black. If you want to argue, you can talk to my little black. I didn't ask little black to do it, so I won't be responsible for the money. After all, even if I sold little black, it wouldn't be worth so much money. Zhao Yun chuckled. She knew that Zhao Yun couldn't do anything to little black. Indeed, Zhao Ping didn't even know where little Hay was. What could she do with little Hay? This is too much. Mother, why don't you speak up for me? Zhao Ping looked at Liang Jinchao for help. Liang Jinchao looked at Zhao Yun's expression and did not dare to say anything. Seeing that Liang Jinchao remained silent, Zhao Ping became even angrier. She was most afraid of dealing with unreasonable people. Now that Zhao Yun was being unreasonable with her, she had no choice. Zhao Ping hurriedly supported Liang Jinchao as his body could not hold on any longer. Okay, Zhao Yun, just you wait. If I catch little black one day, I will definitely kill it. After saying that, with Liang Jinchao's help, Zhao Ping returned to the third branch's room. Zhao Yun only felt that it was ridiculous. If Zhao Ping could really catch little black, she would not be tortured so miserably by little black. Although little black did hit her hard this time, there was no need to be soft-hearted when dealing with AB*TCH. Little black really did it better than her. The third branch was annoyed. As long as Zhao Ping came back, Zhao Yun would be angered once. Her mother was fine in other aspects. The only bad thing was that she could not bear to part with Zhao Ping and cared too much about her. Otherwise, she should not care about a daughter like Zhao Ping. Zhao Yun's eyes turned and thought about whether there was any way to make Liang Jinchao be cruel to Zhao Ping and stop caring about Zhao Ping. The way to make Liang Jinchao be cruel was to make Liang Jinchao feel bitterly disappointed and realize that he had raised an ingrate. Otherwise, it would all be in vain. Chapter 1593. With these worries in mind, Zhao Yun returned to her little thatched hut and used the afternoon to make raspberry jam. Raspberry jam wasn't difficult to make. She just added some white sugar, boiled it in a pot, and then mashed it. This way, she could eat it for a few more days. For a child like Daodu, it could be used as a snack. Zhao Yun remembered that she liked to spread this jam on bread when she was young. It was especially delicious. However, there were too few fruits in this era. Otherwise, it wouldn't be bad to make some strawberry jam or blueberry jam. After Zhao Yun finished, she took a small spoon and scooped up a spoonful of raspberry jam and brought it to Daodu's mouth. Here, try it. See if mother's jam is delicious. Daodu obediently took a bite. His face was full of satisfaction, and his eyes narrowed into crescents. Mother, it's very delicious. This way, it's sweeter than eating it directly. Zhao Yun smiled and patted Daodu's head. Of course. I added some white sugar, so it's naturally sweeter. Mother made a lot for Daodu. These are all in these small bottles. If Daodu wants to eat, make some for yourself. Okay, Mother. Daodu understands. Then, can Daodu help you take care of little sister now? Mother, go and get some fertilizer for the vegetable garden. If something happens to little sister, come and call Mother, okay? Daodu patted his chest. Mother, of course. Leave it to Daodu. Daodu will definitely take care of little sister. Zhao Yun touched Daodu's smooth face, and a satisfied smile appeared on her lips. It was good to have a sensible son. Tian had just been breastfed and was lying quietly in the cradle. Although she didn't fall asleep, she didn't disturb Zhao Yun either. Her well-behaved appearance made one's heart ache. Actually, Daodu didn't really need to take care of anything. It was Daodu who was there to prevent any accidents from happening. Before Zhao Yun'er left, Daodu brought out a small stool and sat in front of Tiantian's cradle. He ate the raspberry jam that Zhao Yun'er had just made and glanced at Tian from time to time. Zhao Yun'er was relieved. She went to the wooden shed and took out a bucket of manure. Then, she took out some manure to fertilize the vegetables in the vegetable garden. Unlike the 21st century, there were no organic fertilizers in ancient times, only human feces or animal feces. However, compared to the 21st century, the vegetables in ancient times tasted much more delicious after being fertilized with manure. It's just that the process of fertilizing makes people feel a little smelly. Zhao Yun'er endured the smell and hurriedly continued to fertilize. She fertilized all the vegetables in the small vegetable garden. Daodu looked after Tian like a warm little brother. Perhaps it was because she had slept for too long, but Tian lay in the cradle and stared at Daodu. She didn't feel sleepy at all. Daodu saw that Tian wasn't sleeping, so he teased her. "What's wrong, Tian? Why aren't you sleeping today?" Tiantian's mouth made a few sounds. Looking at Tiantian's cute little face, Daodu frowned. Tian couldn't speak, so he didn't know what Tian was trying to say. "Little sister Tian, are you not feeling well?" Blah blah. Tiantian's lips moved as if she wanted to say something. Chapter 1594. Blah, blah, blah. Tian made this sound again, but her little mouth was open. Seeing Tian like this, Daodu felt more and more that Tian wanted to eat the raspberry jam in his hand. Daodu's delicate eyebrows slightly furrowed. She pondered whether Tian, such a small child, could eat jam. Looking at Tiantian's expectant eyes, and seeing how delicious the raspberry jam was, he felt a little embarrassed if he didn't give it to Tian. After all, good things should be shared with a little sister. This raspberry jam wasn't something that could be swallowed in one's mouth. If Tian ate it, it wouldn't be much of a problem. With this thought, Daodu picked up a spoon, dipped it in a little bit of raspberry jam, and put it to Tiantian's lips. The child smelled the fruity fragrance and seemed to like it very much. She quickly licked it with her little tongue and rolled the raspberry jam into her mouth. After the raspberry jam on the spoon was finished, Tian made a yeah sound. Seeing Tian smile, Daodu knew that Tian really liked it. Tiantian's little mouth continued to open, and she motioned for Daodu to feed her more. Seeing Tiantian's tender and cute appearance, Daodu couldn't refuse. He could only get another spoonful of raspberry jam and slowly feed it to her. The child seemed to like the taste and felt that it tasted better than goat's milk. Daodu fed it for a while, but Tian didn't seem to have any intention of stopping. She still opened her mouth to eat. Daodu sighed and educated Tian, "Little sister Tian, you've already eaten a lot. You can't eat anymore. Otherwise, if mother finds out, she'll definitely scold me. If you really want to eat, I'll secretly feed you next time when I have the chance." Tian seemed to understand Daodu's words. Her eyes revealed a trace of grievance, but she didn't continue to open her mouth to eat. Daodu looked at Tian with satisfaction and said to Tian, "Little sister Tian, you're so obedient." As he spoke, Daodu touched Tiantian's little face lovingly. Then, he leaned down and kissed Tiantian's little face. The milky fragrance of the baby was mixed with the fruity aroma of raspberries. It was a very pleasant smell. "Little sister Tian, you smell so good." Yeah, Tian replied. Although he didn't understand what Tian was saying, Daodu could roughly guess that Tian was happy at this moment. Zhao Yun returned to Daodu's side after applying the fertilizer. She put down the bucket of manure, but she smelled a little bad. She had to boil some water, take a good bath, and change her clothes. Daodu, did Tian Tian cause any trouble? Are you asleep? Zhao Yuner asked casually. Daodu shook his head. No, mother, Tian Tian isn't asleep, but Tian Tian isn't making a fuss either. She's very obedient. Hearing Daodu's words, Zhao Yuner smiled and replied, that's good. She glanced at the cradle. The little girl was indeed not asleep. She was looking around with her eyes wide open. She didn't know what she was looking at, but she looked very cute. When she caught a glimpse of something red at the corner of Tiantian's mouth, Zhao Yun took a closer look. When she saw that it was raspberry jam, she asked Daodu, Daodu, did you feed your little sister raspberry jam? Daodu lowered his head, seemingly a little guilty. He stammered, Mother, no, no. Daodu was afraid that Zhao Yun would scold him if she found out. He didn't know whether the situation was serious or not, so he didn't dare to admit it. Chapter 1595. Zhao Yun squatted down and asked Daodu, Daodu, did you give the little sister jam or not? Daodu stammered and didn't answer. He lowered his head even more and didn't dare to look at Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun patiently said, Daodu, you know that mother doesn't like children who lie, and she also doesn't like cowards who don't dare to admit their mistakes. After hearing Zhao Yun's words, Daodu raised his head and said to Zhao Yun, with some grievance, Mother. Daodu saw that the little sister wanted to eat, so I gave her some jam. Mother. Daodu was wrong. Mother, please don't be angry at Daodu, okay? Seeing Daodu's wronged little face and the pleading and guilty look in his eyes, Zhao Yun couldn't bear to be angry at Daodu. He was just a child, and it was fine as long as he knew his mistakes. Zhao Yun preferred to patiently teach her children the principles of how to behave, rather than using corporal punishment to teach her children. Thus, she softly said to Daodu, since Daodu knows his mistake, then mother will no longer blame Daodu. This is the first time Daodu has lied and made a mistake. Mother can forgive him, but you can't do it again. Yes, yes. Daodu nodded heavily, as if he was assuring Zhao Yun, The little sister is so small, it's best not to give her jam. Zhao Yun warned. After all, a baby's intestines were different from an ordinary person's. Who knew if something bad would happen from eating jam? If Tian Tian had a stomachache, it wouldn't be a small matter, so it was best not to let Tian Tian eat it. The little child was very fragile, and Zhao Yun didn't want anything to happen later, lest she regretted it and worry. Daodu responded, but pouted and said, Mother, Tian Tian likes it very much. Are we really not giving it to Tian Tian? It shouldn't hurt to eat a little, right? Let's see if Tian Tian has a stomachache today. If she doesn't have a stomachache today, it means that she's fine. Next time, we can feed her less. But if she has a stomachache, it means that she can't eat. She has to grow up a little. Daodu felt that what Zhao Yun'er said made a lot of sense. He hoped that Tian Tian wouldn't have a stomachache so that he could continue to feed Tian Tian some jam. Zhao Yun hadn't rested for long when she saw Mu Lianfeng coming back from the mountain with a heavy heart. Zhao Yun'er called him a few times, but Mu Lianfeng did not respond. It was not until she patted Mu Lianfeng that Mu Lianfeng seemed to be pulled back to reality. It was obvious that something was wrong. Zhao Yun'er asked, What's wrong with Mu Lianfeng? Did something happen? Mu Lianfeng hesitated, wondering if he should tell Zhao Yun'er. But he was afraid that if he told Zhao Yun'er, it would make Zhao Yun'er worry and give Zhao Yun'er more trouble. As if she had guessed Mu Lianfeng's thoughts, Zhao Yun'er said softly, Mu Lianfeng, if there's anything, you can tell me. There's no need to hide it from me. If you encounter any difficulties, the two of us can work together to find a solution. There's no need for you to carry everything alone. It's always better for two people to find a solution than one. After Zhao Yun'er's persuasion, Mu Lianfeng told her about what happened on the mountain. The situation was indeed worrying. In the past 2 days, for some reason, the workers who went to work had inexplicably disappeared. They couldn't be found. Chapter 1596. They had not found the missing people, but more and more of them continued to disappear. The workers who had come to work were all at the bottom of the food chain. Although their lives were worthless in the eyes of the government, they were still human lives. Who knew what danger they had encountered and whether they were still alive? Mu Lianfeng was extremely worried because of this matter. The workers in the mountains had already begun to panic. They said that there were monsters in the mountains that specialized in catching people to eat. At night, there would be ghostly howls. Mu Lianfeng sent people to look for them, but unfortunately, the mountains were very deep. They failed to find anything, which made the panicking people even more frantic. Since they could not be found and had not returned, it was extremely likely that they were dead. Mu Lianfeng had Mo Yen count the number of people who had gone missing. There were over a dozen people in total. The lives of over a dozen people were no small matter. He had to get to the bottom of this as soon as possible, or he would not be able to explain himself. And the workers began to make a ruckus. Compared to making money, they cared more about their lives. The main problem they faced right now was that they had no idea where to start investigating. They had no idea how these people had disappeared. What was so powerful that it could take people away silently? They could not find them at all. In order to prevent more accidents from happening, Mu Lianfeng had Mo Yen arrange for the workers to not go out at night. They all had to stay in their tents. Basically, the people who had gone missing had gone out alone or in groups of 2 or 3. Zhao Yun'er became rather curious when she heard Mu Lianfeng's words. Why was that? Could it only mean that there was something in the mountains? There were many animals in the mountains, and many of them were cannibals. If some large animal had taken people away and eaten them, it could be explained. However, this meant that the workers in the mountains were in even greater danger. Who could deal with a beast if they came across one? Zhao Yun'er thought about how Mu Lianfeng went up and down the mountains every day. She could not help but worry for Mu Lianfeng. What would she do if something happened to Mu Lianfeng? It's less likely that someone did this. In my opinion, there might be some kind of animal in the mountains, said Zhao Yun'er. Animals? Mu Lianfeng raised his eyebrows and asked Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er nodded and replied, yes. For example, tigers, lions, jackals, wolves, and leopards. They are all very fierce and like to eat meat. Those people might have been eaten by them. When Mu Lianfeng heard Zhao Yun'er's words, he felt a chill in his heart. If it was really as Zhao Yun'er said, then wouldn't the disappearance of the dozen or so people be extremely miserable? Wouldn't they be eaten by those tigers and leopards until not even their bones were left? Actually, it's not very difficult to find out if it's these wolves, tigers, and leopards. There's no need to use human lives to test it. I do have a method. Zhao Yun'er blinked. After thinking of the method, her whole eyes shone brightly. It was very charming. Mu Lianfeng's curiosity was aroused by Zhao Yun'er. His Yun'er was so smart. Her brain was flexible and useful. She could think of any method very quickly. She was definitely the most intelligent woman he had ever seen. It's naturally very dangerous to test it on people, but these wolves, tigers, and leopards are for meat. Let's test it on a pig. Chapter 1597. After listening to Zhao Yun'er's idea, Mu Lianfeng felt that it was very good. Why didn't she think of it? Zhao Yun'er said it well, and the feasibility was very strong. It was worth it to use the pig as a primer without risking human lives. It would also be useful for him to find out whether it was done by wolves, tigers, leopards, or humans. If it was not done by humans, it would be easy to deal with. He just had to get rid of this strange thing. If it was done by humans, he had to continue to investigate, which was a little more troublesome. Where are we going to buy a pig now? Mu Lianfeng asked. Pork was easier to buy, but it should be more difficult to buy a whole live pig. Xiao Yun thought for a while. There seemed to be several families in the village who raised pigs. It would just cost more to buy the whole pig. She would ask later, and she should be able to find the family who sold the pig. Leave the matter of buying the pig to me. You don't have to worry. Xiao Yun patted Mu Lianfeng's shoulder. Mu Lianfeng saw Xiao Yun's confident look, and his frowning brows finally relaxed. It was a great honor for him to have such a virtuous wife like Xiao Yun. With Xiao Yun around, Mu Lianfeng found that his heart calmed down a lot, and his previous anxiety disappeared. Xiao Yun saw Mu Lianfeng's tired face, so she asked Mu Lianfeng to take a rest quickly. She ran to the village for a walk and asked if there was a family who sold pigs. After asking in the village, although there were a lot of people who raised pigs, there was only one family who was willing to sell a big pig. After all, it was not cost-effective to sell a small pig. When it grew up and gained more weight, the price would be much higher. Xiao Yun had to go to the family who was willing to sell the pig. Coincidentally, this family belonged to Ma Xiaofeng's third uncle and third aunt. After Zhao Yuner explained her intention to buy a pig, the third branch of the Ma family agreed, although they didn't understand the purpose of Zhao Yuner buying a pig. After all, they also wanted to sell the pigs. Now that Zhao Yuner came to buy the pigs, it saved them the trouble of calling the butcher over. As long as they could get the money, it was fine. As for the price of the pork, Xiao Yun didn't calculate with the third branch of the Ma family, but she also didn't let the third branch of the Ma family take advantage of her. A catty of pork was sold at the market for 13 to 14 copper coins per catty. Excluding the worthless bones and intestines, the whole pig was sold for 8 copper coins per catty. A pig weighed about 200 catties. In other words, it would cost less than 2 taels of silver to buy. The price was not very expensive. After discussing the price with the third branch of the Ma family, Zhao Yuner said, "Okay, you go and prepare to weigh it. I'll go back and get the money. I'll come back later to collect the pig." Ma Xiaofeng's third aunt, Madame Xiang, smiled and said, "Okay. Yuner girl, go back and get the money. We'll help you weigh it. We definitely won't underweight it." "That's good." Xiao Yun nodded and turned to walk in the direction of her home. After Zhao Yuner walked away, Madame Xiang hurriedly urged her husband, Ma Wenhui, "I say, husband, quickly feed the pig something to eat." Ma Wenhui asked with a puzzled expression, "What should we feed the pig now? Aren't we going to sell it soon?" Chapter 1598. Ma Wenhui felt that Madame Xiang's words made sense, but he was used to being honest, so he frowned and said, "That's not good. We can't feed the pigs overnight when we sell them. Otherwise, when the butcher kills the pigs and cuts open their stomachs, he won't buy them anymore if he sees food in their stomachs. Although we don't know why Zhao Yun bought our pigs, what if she sells them to another butcher and they come to find trouble with us?" Seeing Ma Wenhui's indecisiveness, Madame Xiang snorted and said, "What does that have to do with anything? Didn't we just buy our pigs today? So what if you say that you fed them in the morning? Can't you use your brain a little and think about it? You really don't know how to make money. Let's feed them 2 or 3 catties of wild vegetable bran and earn a few dozen copper coins." Ma Wenhui could only let Madame Xiang do as she said. "All right, then hurry up and feed them." Otherwise, Xiao Yun won't be able to feed them when she comes. Madame Xiang poked Ma Wenhui and said, "Didn't I ask you to go over? Why are you ordering me around?" Ma Wenhui pursed his lips and said, "Why are you so lazy? Women do all the work in other families, but you like to order me around." Madame Xiang said carelessly, "It's my duty to order you around. After all, I came up with the idea of making money, not you." Ma Wenhui found that he couldn't argue with Madame Xiang. This woman had too many reasons. To put it bluntly, she was too lazy and pushed everything to him. Ma Wenhui was too lazy to argue with Madame Xiang. He was afraid of wasting time, so he hurriedly got some pig food and urged the pigs to eat quickly. However, what Ma Wenhui and Madame Xiang didn't know was that their conversation was heard by Mulan, who was passing by. Mulan couldn't help but curse in her heart. How could these two be so shameless? They specially cheated others and took advantage of them. Wasn't it just a few dozen copper coins? Was it necessary to do this? They didn't follow the rules at all. Thinking that Zhao Yun'er might be at a disadvantage, Mulan prepared to tell Zhao Yun'er about this matter. She left the house of the third branch of the Ma family and walked in the direction of Zhao Yun'er's house. Before they arrived at Zhao Yun'er's house, Zhao Yun'er had already come out of the house, and the two of them happened to bump into each other. Zhao Yun'er smiled and greeted Mulan, "Sister-in-law Mulan, are you here to look for me? What's the matter?" Mulan frowned and went to Zhao Yun'er to ask, "Yun'er, are you going to buy pigs from the third branch of the Ma family?" Zhao Yun'er nodded and replied, "Yes, sister-in-law Mulan, how did you know?" Mulan sighed and told Zhao Yun'er what happened just now. Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but be a little angry when she heard it. Doing business was about honesty. How could the third branch of the Ma family do it? It was obvious that they deliberately cheated her. Although she didn't care about a few dozen copper coins, she couldn't treat people like fools. Therefore, Zhao Yun'er wouldn't take this loss for nothing. So she said to Mulan, "Sister-in-law Mulan, thank you for telling me this. I will argue with them when I go over later." "Okay, I was just afraid that you would be at a disadvantage. I just happened to hear it, so I couldn't help but tell you that there's no need to thank me. Yun'er, you can go. If there's nothing else, I'll go back first." "Okay, sister-in-law Mulan." After parting with Mulan, Zhao Yun'er angrily walked towards the third branch of the Ma family. Chapter 1599. By the time Zhao Yun arrived at Ma Wenhui's house, Ma Wenhui had already finished feeding the pig. When he saw Zhao Yun coming over, his eyes were a little flustered. It was obvious that he had a guilty conscience. Fortunately, Mulan had told her in advance. Otherwise, she would not have been able to discover that Wu Wenhui was feeding the pig. Madame Xiang looked at her man in disappointment. He had done something bad, but he had a guilty conscience. Wasn't it easy for others to see through him? If only he was half as shrewd as her. When Zhao Yun arrived at her courtyard, Madame Xiang forced a smile and said to Zhao Yun, "Yun, lass, it's better to weigh my pig in front of you." Zhao Yun smiled coldly. Madame Xiang was puzzled by Zhao Yun's reaction. She frowned and asked, "Yun, lass, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you saying anything?" Zhao Yun stared at the pig and curled her lips. There was food stuck to the pig's mouth. "Auntie Wu, why did you feed the pig while I was getting the money?" Madame Xiang was stunned. She did not expect Zhao Yun to have such good eyesight. Zhao Yun actually discovered it. After being stunned for a moment, Madame Xiang felt that she still could not admit it. If she did, wouldn't she be slapping herself in the face? Her lips twitched stiffly. "Yun, lass, what are you saying? When did I feed the pig?" Madame Xiang poked Ma Wenhui as she spoke. Ma Wenhui had wanted to admit it out of guilt, but after being poked by Madame Xiang, he realized that Madame Xiang wanted him to deny it no matter what. Yes, Yun lass, when did we feed the pig? Xiao Yun glanced at the couple and snorted coldly. No. Then what's with the food around the pig's mouth? This. Didn't I feed you this morning? That bastard doesn't know how to wipe his mouth, so he left it by his mouth. Madame Xiang pursed her lips and continued to quibble. Sure enough, talking to a thick-skinned person was like this. He completely refused to admit it even if you beat him to death. Xiao Yuner couldn't help but feel a little disgusted. If it weren't for the fact that there were no other pig sellers in the village, he would definitely not buy Ma Wenhui's pigs. But I didn't see it when I came over just now. How come you have the time to take the money? And looking at the chaff, it's still moist. It should have just been stirred not long ago. How could it be this morning? Xiao Yun deliberately said this, with the intention of blasting Ma Wenhui and his wife. As expected, when Ma Wenhui and his wife heard this, their faces turned ugly. Even if he wanted to quibble, he had no reason to do so. Uncle Wu, Auntie Wu, doing business is all about honesty. Since you sold the pig to me, I'll give you as much as I deserve. But you can't cheat me like this. This meal of pig food will probably add 2 or 3 caddies to it, right? Madame Xiang smiled embarrassedly, not knowing how to answer. It would have been fine if she hadn't been caught, but now that Xiao Yun had caught her, she couldn't help but feel very awkward. Ma Wenhui immediately apologized. That. Yun lass, this is our fault. If you can't do it, just deduct 2 or 3 caddies of money. Madame Xiang seemed a little unhappy. She tugged at Ma Wenhui and said, if you deduct 2 or 3 caddies, we'll lose a lot of money. This is our fault after all. What else is there to say? If they don't buy it, we won't be able to sell it at this price even if we find a butcher. Chapter 1600. Every year, when his family sold pigs, there would be a lot of trouble. Now that they could sell the whole pig to Xiao Yun, it was both profitable and worry-free for their family. Therefore, Madame Xiang did not say anything and let Ma Wenhui say whatever he wanted. Anyway, she could not bring herself to apologize to Xiao Yun. Xiao Yun saw that Ma Wenhui was honest and took the initiative to get rid of the extra 2 to 3 caddies of chaff. She nodded and said, okay, I'll continue to buy this pig. First, weigh it and deduct 3 caddies of weight. Okay. Ma Wenhui answered straightforwardly. The pig weighed 218 caddies in total, so the price was 215 caddies. Xiao Yun paid and took Ma Wenhui's pig back. It was the first time that Xiao Yun had contact with a live pig. She tied a rope to the pig's head and led it forward. However, she did not know if the pig's brain was stupid, but Xiao Yun had some difficulty pulling the pig. Sometimes, the pig would stop moving. Xiao Yun had to hit it a few times with a stick before the pig could move again. On the way, many people saw the pig in Xiao Yun's hands and covered their mouths to laugh. After tossing and turning for a long time, Xiao Yun finally brought the pig home and tied it in the wooden shed. Mu Lianfeng took a nap and just woke up. Seeing that Xiao Yun had brought the pig back, he walked to Xiao Yun and said to Xiao Yun, thank you for your hard work. Xiao Yun waved her hand and said, it's okay, it's not hard at all. Yun it's good to have you. Mu Lianfeng sighed. Don't be so polite with me. Now that the pig is back, we can try bringing it up the mountain tonight. Mu Lianfeng nodded. It was better to try it as soon as possible and find out the truth as soon as possible. It was good for understanding the real situation. Okay, then I'll go tonight. Mu Lianfeng glanced at the pig he bought and said. Mu Lianfeng, let me accompany you tonight. Xiao Yuner was afraid that something would happen to Mu Lianfeng. Two people were better than one. He felt more at ease staying by Mu Lianfeng's side. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't be able to sleep tonight. Mu Lianfeng frowned and said, Yuner, it's very dangerous. You'd better be safe at home. Xiao Yuner insisted, it's because it's dangerous that I want to go with you. Mu Lianfeng, if we have something to do, we can't be separated. Mu Lianfeng sighed slightly. He knew that Xiao Yuner usually wouldn't change her mind easily. Since Xiao Yuner insisted, he would let Xiao Yuner go. However, he would never let Xiao Yuner get involved in dangerous things. If it really came, he would come down from the tree and deal with it alone. Okay, then let's go together. Okay. Xiao Yuner nodded heavily. Xiao Yuner didn't go to the third branch for dinner. She knew that Xiao Pinger must still be in the third branch, so she was very upset and didn't want to see that idiot again. However, the reality was just as Xiao Yuner expected. Xiao Pinger was tormented like this and couldn't go back. Liang Jinchao asked someone to pass a message to the family Qin. During this time, Xiao Pinger would stay in the third branch until she recovered. After all, it was much better for Xiao Pinger to stay in the third branch than in the family Qin. No matter how good the family Qin was, it was still the in-laws' family. How could it be better than the maternal family's care? Chapter 1601. Xiao Yuner was originally curious as to why Little Black had suddenly slipped away in the afternoon. Only now did he come back. Because of what Little Black had done to Xiao Pinger, Little Black was probably afraid. He was afraid that Xiao Yuner would come back and scold him, so he slipped away. Even his shadow could not be seen in the afternoon. Xiao Yuner walked in front of Xiao He and said to Xiao He, what happened to you? Why are you injured so badly? Little Black wagged his tail and handed the pheasant in his mouth to Xiao Yuner. Xiao Yuner took the pheasant and looked at the wounds on Little Black's body. Her brows were tightly knitted together and she was extremely worried. Little Black stuck out his tongue and licked Xiao Yuner's hand a few times. Xiao Yuner's heart ached even more. Xiao Yuner guessed that Little Black must have felt that he had made a mistake. In order to make up for his mistake, he ran up the mountain to get a pheasant back to please her. But who would have thought that he would get injured on a trip up the mountain? She looked at the wounds on Little Black's body. They were bitten very deeply. At this moment, blood was still flowing out. Little Black's fur was stained with blood. Just looking at it made her feel unbearably painful. Xiao Yuner's heart clenched. She touched Little Black's head and could not help but scold, Little Black, you didn't do anything wrong. I won't blame you, so you don't have to be like this. Look at you, you're injured. Aren't you afraid that my heart will ache to death? As Xiao Yuner spoke, she touched Little Black's head and motioned for Little Black to lie down. It was not easy for Little Black to come back in such a situation. Both of his legs were trembling. It looked like the situation was quite bad. Fortunately, she had prepared some Jinchuang medicine at home. It was Mu Lianfeng's medicine and it was very effective in stopping the bleeding. Xiao Yuner hurriedly took out the Jinchuang medicine and poured it on Little Black's wound. After a while, the bleeding on Little Black's wound stopped. However, Xiao He's injuries were not light. He lay on the ground and soon closed his eyes. Daodu almost cried when he saw Little Black's expression. Mother, what's wrong with Little Black? Will Little Black die? Xiao Yuner frowned. He had suffered such a serious injury and lost so much blood. Although the bleeding had stopped now, Xiao Yuner was not sure whether Little He was all right or not. She could only pray that Little He was fine in her heart. Facing Daodu, Xiao Yuner could only comfort him. Nyangqin's bleeding has been stopped by Little Black, there shouldn't be any problem. Let Little Black rest for a while. The tears in Dowdoo's eyes slowly receded. Mother, is that true? Will Little Black really be alright? Don't worry, with Mother here, I won't let anything happen to Little Black. Yes, yes. Dowdoo nodded heavily. Then, she squatted down and stroked Little Black's head a few times. Little Black, nothing must happen to you. Dowdoo still wants to play with you. Today, Enchanting made raspberry sauce, it's delicious. When you're better, I'll let you eat it. Hearing Dowdoo's words, Xiao Yun's heart felt a little sour. After applying the medicine, Xiao Yun took out a white cloth and bandaged the bite wound on Little Black's leg. Looking at the big bite mark and how deep the bite was, it must have been a large animal. The possibility of it being a lion or tiger was higher. Little Black went up the mountain to hunt and encountered these animals. It was already very rare for him to be able to escape. Now, Xiao Yun could only pray that Little Black could survive this ordeal and that nothing bad would happen to him. Chapter 1602. After Little Hay was injured, Little Mao was actually more worried than Xiao Yun and Dowdoo. Little Hay was lying on the haystack in the wooden basin. Little Mao moved closer to Little Hay, stuck out its tongue, and licked Little Hay's body. Little Hay lifted its heavy eyelids and looked at Little Mao. Then, it heard Little Mao make a donkey sound, but it didn't know what Little Mao meant. However, there seemed to be some kind of communication between Little Hay and Little Mao. Seeing the sadness in Little Mao's eyes when Little Hay was injured, Xiao Yun couldn't help but sigh. There was indeed true love in the world. Even animals would help each other in times of need after interacting for a long time. After dinner, when the sky darkened and the sun was setting, Xiao Yun entrusted Dowdoo and Tian Tian to Liang Jinxiao. After all, Xiao Yun was worried about leaving the two children at home. As for her and Mu Lianfeng, they led the pig up the mountain. After Xiao Yun left, Little Mao actually followed her. Xiao Yun looked at Little Mao in confusion. Usually, Little Mao wouldn't follow her no matter what she did. After all, donkeys didn't have that habit, unlike dogs, who liked to follow their owners wherever they went. Little Mao, why are you following me? Go back quickly, I have to go up the mountain. Little Mao ignored Xiao Yun and continued to follow behind Xiao Yun. What was wrong with this donkey? It was the first time it was acting so strangely. Could it be that it knew that she was going to do something dangerous up the mountain, so it prepared to follow her? Little Mao, go back. The mountain road is not easy to walk on, it's inconvenient. You can accompany Little Hay when you go back. Little Mao lowered its head and barked a few times. Xiao Yun didn't understand what Little Mao meant, so after urging it a few times, Little Mao followed behind her. Xiao Yun was a little helpless, so she could only let Little Mao follow her. When they went up the mountain, Mu Lianfeng tied the pig to a flat ground outside the tent. It was a little far from the tent and there was no light. After that, Xiao Yun asked Little Mao to hide further away, in case the pig didn't attract the wild animals, but Little Mao did. After preparing these, Mu Lianfeng and Xiao Yun went up the tree and waited quietly. Nothing happened during the night, they suddenly heard a tiger's roar. Xiao Yun and Mu Lianfeng were immediately alert. Was it a tiger? Last time, they had encountered a tiger. Could it be that this time, it was another tiger in the mountains that was eating people? Both of their expressions immediately became heavy as they stared at the direction where the tiger roar came from. After waiting, Little Hay was haze, a tiger, a tiger, a tiger, a tiger, a tiger. Xiao Yun held Mu Lianfeng's hand tightly. She was a little scared. That tiger's roar was frightening. The danger when they encountered the tiger last time was still vivid in their minds. Thinking back, they couldn't help but feel a little scared. When the movement in the grass became more intense, they saw a white tiger come out of the grass. Xiao Yun thought she saw wrongly. It was actually a white tiger. Compared to yellow tigers, white tigers were much more precious and were rarely seen under normal circumstances. With the bright moon in the sky, they could see it more clearly. This white tiger's physique was bigger than the tiger they encountered before. It also looked more powerful, but it also meant that it was more dangerous. It wasn't as easy to deal with as the tiger they encountered before. Chapter 1603. That ferocious appearance made people who saw it uncontrollably tremble in fear, and waves of chill rose from the bottom of their hearts. When people faced dangerous animals, they would be like this. Even if they tried their best to control themselves, they would still be afraid. Mu Lianfeng wanted to make a move, but Xiao Yun pulled him back. What do you want to do? Kill that tiger. Xiao Yun whispered into Mu Lianfeng's ear. Mu Lianfeng hesitated for a moment, then nodded and said, If we don't seize the opportunity to kill it today, I'm afraid we won't have another chance in the future. Mu Lianfeng voiced out the concerns in his heart. This time, the white tiger escaped, and it might not be so easy to lure it out again. If the white tiger disappeared for a while and didn't appear again, who knew how many lives would be lost when everyone relaxed their vigilance? Mu Lianfeng didn't dare to gamble with human lives again. Xiao Yun also didn't dare to gamble with Mu Lianfeng's life. It was already not easy to kill the white tiger last time and escape danger. This time, they might not be so lucky. Mu Lianfeng, the white tiger this time is more dangerous than the tiger last time. Are you sure you can deal with it? Xiao Yun said with a frown. She was still a little worried in her heart. The two of them looked at each other. When their eyes met, Mu Lianfeng's gaze immediately became much gentler. His scorching eyes stared at Xiao Yun, then he planted a kiss on Xiao Yun's forehead, and said softly, Yun, if I don't go to hell, who will? Since His Majesty handed this matter to me, then I must take responsibility. If a few more lives are sacrificed, I'm afraid I won't be able to explain it to His Majesty. So this time, we can only eliminate all future troubles. This white tiger must be dealt with, and we can't let it continue to hurt people. After listening to Mu Lianfeng's words, Xiao Yun knew that Mu Lianfeng had his reasons for Mu Lianfeng. She was speaking from her own point of view. She did not want Mu Lianfeng to take risks out of selfishness. However, Mu Lianfeng put himself in a righteous position for the safety of others. The reason why she liked Mu Lianfeng, wasn't it because she liked Mu Lianfeng's awe-inspiring righteousness? Xiao Yun hesitated for a moment before nodding in agreement with Mu Lianfeng. She reminded him, be careful. All right. Mu Lianfeng gently went down from the tree and slowly walked towards the white tiger. The white tiger originally wanted to bite the pig, but after hearing a trace of movement, it immediately became vigilant. In the dark night, the tiger's eyes shone brightly. When Mu Lianfeng approached the white tiger, he tried to lower his voice as much as possible so as not to alarm the white tiger. Unfortunately, this beast was very shrewd. It stared vigilantly in the direction Mu Lianfeng went. With every step Mu Lianfeng took, his back was covered in cold sweat. Xiao Yun, who was hiding in the tree, felt her heart tighten. She was afraid that the white tiger would become agitated and directly beat Mu Lianfeng to the ground. Mu Lianfeng felt that he had to end the battle quickly and take down the white tiger as soon as possible. If he waited for the white tiger to react, it would either run away or pounce on him. At that time, he would be in a disadvantageous position and his life might be in danger. Pulling out a dagger from his sleeve, Mu Lianfeng suddenly rushed out. The white tiger noticed Mu Lianfeng's movements. It let out a deafening roar again, shaking people's hearts with lingering fear. The king of the forest was indeed the king of the forest. Even a roar could frighten people. Mu Lianfeng's body could not help but tremble. However, he did not withdraw his dagger and continued to stab the white tiger. Chapter 1604. Mu Lianfeng's dagger pierced into the white tiger's body. Originally, Mu Lianfeng wanted to hit the white tiger's head directly, just like when he killed the tiger before. He wanted to kill the white tiger with a fatal blow in the middle of its head. But because the white tiger discovered his tracks in advance, it dodged when he approached. Mu Lianfeng's dagger missed its target and fell on the white tiger's back. However, the pain from the dagger still made the white tiger restless. Mu Lianfeng couldn't pull out the dagger that he had inserted. And the white tiger's claws fiercely swung towards Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng knew that things were not good, but he couldn't dodge in time. The white tiger's claws fell heavily on his shoulder. Mu Lianfeng was in so much pain that he couldn't breathe. His whole body was also slapped away by the white tiger. Mu Lianfeng felt a mouthful of blood in his chest and spat it out. The white tiger's strength was not small. After he was hit by its claws, it was more serious than if he was hit by a palm strike from a martial artist. After falling heavily on the ground, Mu Lianfeng's body hurt as if it was falling apart. Zhao Yun saw the situation and was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. She wanted to quickly rush down from the tree. Mu Lianfeng, however, held his breath and shouted to Zhao Yun, it's dangerous, don't come over. Zhao Yun saw that the injured white tiger was angry. She glared at Mu Lianfeng fiercely, as if she wanted to tear Mu Lianfeng apart. Now that Mu Lianfeng was on the ground, he didn't even have the strength to get up. If she didn't go down, wouldn't Mu Lianfeng be bitten by the white tiger and lose his life? If she went down, then there was still a chance. Zhao Yun didn't want to accept her fate so easily. It wasn't easy to be together with Mu Lianfeng. How could she be willing to let Mu Lianfeng lose his life? Ignoring Mu Lianfeng's attempt to stop her, Zhao Yun climbed down from the tree. She had a long knife in her hand. She could only use it to defend herself. When Mu Lianfeng saw Zhao Yun coming down, his brows were tightly knitted together. With every step Zhao Yun took, his frown deepened. Zhao Yun moved to Mu Lianfeng's side and looked at the white tiger vigilantly. White tiger was probably seriously injured. It first licked its wounds, then its sharp eyes stared at Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng. Their originally stopped steps slowly moved towards Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng. Yun, hurry up and leave. It's not too late. When Zhao Yun got close to Mu Lianfeng pushed Zhao Yun back, indicating for Zhao Yun to leave. I'm not leaving. Zhao Yun pulled Mu Lianfeng stubbornly, trying to pull Mu Lianfeng up from the ground. Mu Lianfeng gently whispered into Zhao Yun's ear, Yun, be good and leave quickly. It's okay if something happens to me, but if something happens to you, who will take care of Daodu in the future? Who said it's okay if something happens to you? You still have to take care of Daodu and me. You didn't take responsibility for the past few years. Don't tell me you don't want to take responsibility as a father and a husband in the future. So Mu Lianfeng, I won't let anything happen to you, absolutely not. Even if there's danger, we'll face it together. I'm your wife, so I should know what it means to live and die together. Mu Lianfeng sighed. He was helpless against Zhao Yun's stubbornness. However, this white tiger was very ferocious. If Zhao Yun came again, he could have sacrificed himself, but now he might have to drag Zhao Yun along. Chapter 1605. Zhao Yun stared at the white tiger, and there seemed to be a raging fire burning between her and the tiger. The white tiger bared its fangs. Because it had suffered at the hands of Mu Lianfeng and was injured, it was more or less afraid of Mu Lianfeng. With every step the white tiger took, there was the sound of branches on the ground being trampled. Mu Lianfeng quickly protected Zhao Yun behind him. If the white tiger really wanted to attack someone, it would attack him first, not Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun looked up at Mu Lianfeng's side profile. This man would always think of her first at all times and protect her so that she would not be in danger. Roar! The white tiger roared again and got closer. At this point, it was useless to be afraid. Zhao Yun held a knife in her hand. When she saw Mu Lianfeng standing in front of her, she handed it to Mu Lianfeng. Come, use it for self-defense. If this beast really catches up to it, give it another stab. Okay. Mu Lianfeng took the knife from Zhao Yun's hand. He was not as proficient in using a knife as a dagger, and he was not sure if he could hit the white tiger's vital points in one go. If he failed this time and angered the white tiger again, the white tiger would not be like it was now. It would enter a berserk mode. Roar! The white tiger seemed to be sure that Mu Lianfeng and Zhao Yun were not as good as it. It jumped and attacked Mu Lianfeng and Zhao Yun. Mu Lianfeng swung the knife in his hand, but the white tiger's body was unusually agile. It easily avoided Mu Lianfeng's attack. Instead, its front paw directly pushed Mu Lianfeng to the ground. Zhao Yun was also knocked out and fell to the ground. She struggled to support her body and finally fell to the ground. He saw Mu Lianfeng being pressed under the white tiger's body. The white tiger's fangs were wide open, and it could eat Mu Lianfeng if it lowered its head. Zhao Yun couldn't wait to rush over and push white tiger away, but she didn't even have the strength to get up. He could only lie on the ground and watch as Mu Lianfeng was in danger. This feeling of powerlessness and frustration made Zhao Yun feel extremely uncomfortable. She was afraid that if she blinked again, Mu Lianfeng would become the white tiger's food. Don't eat him. Zhao Yun shouted at White Tiger, even though she knew that White Tiger couldn't understand human language. However, White Tiger ignored Zhao Yun. It opened its mouth wider and slowly lowered it, preparing to bite Mu Lianfeng. At this moment, Xiao Mao, who had been arranged to hide by Zhao Yun, suddenly rushed out and ran directly towards White Tiger. Xiao Mao arrived in front of White Tiger, lifted its hind legs, and directly kicked White Tiger's face. It happened to kick White Tiger's 2 eyes. An even more miserable cry was heard. White Tiger didn't care about Mu Lianfeng under it and directly jumped around in pain. Mu Lianfeng was fortunately released. Mu Lianfeng, how are you? Are you okay? Zhao Yun asked anxiously. I'm fine. Fortunately, there was Xiao Mao. If Xiao Mao hadn't rushed out in time, he would have really become White Tiger's food. It's good that you're fine. Zhao Yun's heart, which had been hanging in the air, finally breathed a sigh of relief. She really didn't dare to imagine what it would be like if Mu Lianfeng died in front of her. However, now was not the time to let down her guard. The danger was still ongoing. Zhao Yun supported herself with difficulty and crawled to Mu Lianfeng's side. The two of them supported each other and stood up. Chapter 1606. Mu Lianfeng originally wanted to use this opportunity to get rid of the white tiger, but he could not recover his strength immediately. In addition, the white tiger seemed to have sensed the danger coming from Mu Lianfeng, so it fled into the forest and disappeared in the blink of an eye. The forest was very deep, and it would be difficult to find anything that escaped into it. Moreover, Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng's current physical condition was not good at all, so they could only watch as the white tiger escaped. Although they did not catch the white tiger, it was fortunate that they were able to escape from the white tiger's hands today and did not lose their lives. As for how to deal with the white tiger next, they would have to think of a way later. They did not know what kind of species it was before, so their preparations were not complete. Many things were not done properly, so they naturally encountered danger when they acted rashly. If there was another chance next time, it would not be like this. They were afraid that there would not be another chance. The white tiger was injured this time, but it should not lose its life. There was a possibility that it would appear again next time. Because there were too many uncertainties, there was no way to guard against it. If they sent people into the forest to look for the tiger, this method was not very feasible. Mu Lianfeng's brows were inevitably dyed with some anxiety. Xiao Yun saw through Mu Lianfeng's thoughts and comforted him. Mu Lianfeng, we are already very lucky to be able to escape danger this time. Let's think about other things in the future. Yes, yes. Mu Lianfeng nodded in response. His worries were useless. Instead of worrying, it was better to calm down and slowly think of a way. Rich, after walking a few steps, Mu Lianfeng vomited the blood in his chest again. Xiao Yun saw this situation and immediately panicked. Sometimes, this kind of internal injury was more serious than external injury. Mu Lianfeng vomited blood, which meant that the injury was not light. Xiao Yun quickly supported Mu Lianfeng. I will help you to the tent to rest first. Let's go see a doctor tomorrow. Okay. Mu Lianfeng responded. Afraid that Xiao Yun would be worried, Mu Lianfeng said gently, Yun, don't worry, I will be fine. You don't have to worry too much about me. Xiao Yun sighed. Mu Lianfeng, you have to be well. For me and Daodu's sake, we haven't spent enough time together as a family. Mu Lianfeng held Xiao Yun's hand, but Yun, can you promise me one thing? Yun, if you encounter danger again in the future, you must not be like today. You must escape by yourself first, don't worry about me. Hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Xiao Yun was a little angry. Mu Lianfeng, my life is your life. Is it not life? Daodu doesn't need me. Daodu also needs you. So next time, and the time after that, don't think about shouldering the burden alone no matter how dangerous or difficult it is. Whether we live or die together, we can discuss other requests, but don't mention this to me again. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Xiao Yun's stubborn little face. He felt helpless, but a sense of happiness welled up from the bottom of his heart. How lucky must he be to be able to obtain such a woman? God must have left the best for him. With Xiao Yun, he was willing to do anything. No matter how dangerous it was, he would definitely survive it. Yun, you are so good. You look so cute when you are angry. Chapter 1607. Mu Lianfeng could only reply with a smile. Okay. Yun, I was wrong. I should have listened to you seriously. I'll remember what you said. Xiao Yun's angry little face eased a little. It's good that you remember. Okay. Xiao Yun supported Mu Lianfeng into the tent. Mu Lianfeng rested for a while, and his condition gradually improved. However, she still had to call a doctor to treat him. It's all thanks to Xiao Mao this time. Xiao Yun sighed. Previously, when Xiao Mao followed her up the mountain, she was not happy. She never thought that Xiao Mao would be so capable that it could even deal with a white tiger. The white tiger's eyes were badly injured by Xiao Mao. The eyes were the most sensitive part of humans and animals. If the eyes were injured, they could not see and could not launch any attacks. Xiao Mao had done a good job this time. When they returned, they must reward Xiao Mao well. Xiao Yun only had a few scratches and minor external injuries. Her condition was not as serious as Mu Lianfeng's, so it was not a big deal. The two of them did not stay in the tent for long. When Mu Lianfeng could almost walk on his own, they returned to the foot of the mountain. After all, they were worried about Daodu and Tian. They were also afraid that if they did not return, Daodu would be worried. In addition, it was more or less inconvenient to stay in the tent. As for Xiao Mao, it followed behind Xiao Yun and went down the mountain. Xiao Yun glanced at Xiao Mao. She was shrewd and wondered if Xiao Mao was transformed from a spirit. Otherwise, how could a donkey be so powerful? Xiao Mao, you're so awesome. Your hooves are so powerful. When we get back, I'll make you braised pork. Xiao Yun said with a smile as she patted Xiao Mao's head. Xiao Mao replied proudly. The expression on its face was very interesting. Come, let's go back. When they returned to the foot of the mountain, it was already late at night. Xiao Yun'er went to the third branch. The third branch had already turned off the fire and was asleep. Knowing that Tian Tian and Daodu were asleep, Xiao Yun'er returned to her small, shabby thatched hut. It wouldn't be good to wake the two children up now. He could just pick them up tomorrow morning. Mu Lianfeng had already washed up and laid down, waiting for Xiao Yun'er to come back so that they could sleep together. Seeing that Xiao Yun'er did not bring the two children back, he asked, Are Daodu and Tian Tian not coming back to sleep tonight? Xiao Yun'er shook her head and said, I'm not coming back. My mother has already fallen asleep with them. It's not good to wake them up after bringing them back. Mu Lianfeng nodded and replied, I see. That's even better. Ah. Xiao Yun'er froze for a second, then frowned and asked, What do you mean by this is better? The smile on Mu Lianfeng's lips deepened, but he did not continue to explain. Mu Lianfeng did not say anything, but that did not mean that Xiao Yun'er would let him off so easily. Xiao Yun'er went forward and asked, Mu Lianfeng, say something. What do you mean by this is better? Look at your lewd smile. There must be something. Xiao Yun'er's words left him speechless. This was the first time he had heard someone call him lewd. Say it. What were you thinking just now? What do you mean by this is better? Xiao Yun'er questioned, her attitude tougher than before. Mu Lianfeng had no choice but to say, Okay, I'll say it. That's a good boy. Xiao Yun'er's serious face was no longer as tense. Yun'er, come closer. I'll tell you. Mu Lianfeng said gently. Although Xiao Yun'er was a little confused, she still went over very cooperatively. Chapter 1608. Xiao Yun'er felt a huge body pressing down on her, and a fresh smell of fragrant grass rolled into her nose. This smell was the smell of Mu Lianfeng's body. The two people's eyes met, and their faces were suddenly very close. Xiao Yun'er's face suddenly turned red. She didn't expect Mu Lianfeng's sudden action. What are you going to do? Xiao Yun'er asked nervously. Although the two of them had been sleeping in the same bed these days, and there was a lot of time to sleep together, this was the first time Mu Lianfeng had done this. When the whole body pressed down on her, Xiao Yun'er felt that her body was stiff, and it became a little difficult to breathe. Mu Lianfeng, get off of me quickly. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng didn't speak, Xiao Yun'er urged again. Mu Lianfeng shook his head, indicating that he didn't agree. Pervert. Xiao Yun'er's face turned red, and she scolded in a low voice. She was curious why Mu Lianfeng said that it would be better if Daodu and Tian Tian didn't come back. It turned out that he had this idea. The two children were not at home, so he could do anything to her unscrupulously. Men. Sure enough, they were all the same. No matter how serious they looked on the surface, they were actually a little perverted. No. Mu Lianfeng flatly refused, and he had no intention of moving away from Xiao Yun'er. Xiao Yun'er bit her lower lip angrily. This guy was playing rogue with her. Knowing that Mu Lianfeng was injured, and it was an internal injury, Xiao Yun'er didn't dare to resist. She was afraid that Mu Lianfeng would be hurt, but she was unwilling to let Mu Lianfeng like this. Could it be that she really wanted to let Mu Lianfeng take advantage of her? Mu Lianfeng. You. Stop fooling around. I'm not messing around. Mu Lianfeng bent down and stared at Zhao Yun below him. His gaze gradually became hot. And you said you weren't messing around. Yun, don't you like me? Zhao Yun was startled. What nonsense was this guy talking about? When did she say that she didn't like it? Mu Lianfeng saw that Zhao Yun did not speak. He knew that Zhao Yun liked him, and a satisfied smile appeared on his lips. Although his lips were on Zhao Yun's lips, Mu Lianfeng tossed and turned, as if he wanted to swallow Zhao Yun into his stomach. Zhao Yun resisted at first, but when she couldn't resist, she simply sank into it. She still rarely got intimate with Mu Lianfeng, because she was busy with too many things on a daily basis. In addition, the children were all in the same room. Even if Mu Lianfeng wanted to make a move on her, he had to consider the negative impact in front of the children. Now that Daodu and Tian were not here, Mu Lianfeng became unscrupulous. The two people's bodies became hotter and hotter. Mu Lianfeng reached out and wanted to untie Zhao Yun's clothes, but he was stopped by Zhao Yun. Yun. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun with a somewhat blurred gaze. No. You can't. Zhao Yun said with a red face. Yun, you are my wife. The Emperor's imperial edict should be here soon. Mu Lianfeng's voice became softer, with a sense of charm. Zhao Yun felt that Mu Lianfeng was instigating her to commit a crime. Damn, when a man became gentle, a woman really couldn't stand it. Zhao Yun felt that her body was hot and wanted to vent. Of course, all of this was caused by Mu Lianfeng. Yun. Mu Lianfeng's tone was pleading. Chapter 1609. Yun, I know my own body best. Zhao Yun didn't know what to say to Mu Lianfeng. Seeing Mu Lianfeng in heat, she knew that she probably couldn't escape. Since she couldn't escape, why not enjoy it once? These days, she really rejected Mu Lianfeng too much in this kind of thing. If this continued, she didn't know if this man would be stifled to death. Since the emperor had already bestowed the marriage, although they didn't receive the imperial edict in time because they were in a hurry to come back, it couldn't run away. After all, the monarch's words carried weight, and he couldn't go back on his words. And in the future, if she could be together with Mu Lianfeng and become his wife, she would have to have this kind of relationship with him sooner or later. Since it would happen sooner or later, it was good for her to sink into it once. Seeing that Zhao Yun didn't stop him, Mu Lianfeng gently kissed Zhao Yun's forehead, and then began to undress Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun nervously stopped Mu Lianfeng. Wait. What's wrong? Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun curiously and asked. That. Zhao Yun blushed and weakly replied, Can you put out the candles? Mu Lianfeng saw that Zhao Yun was shy, and with a palm wind, the candles were immediately put out, and the room was dark for a moment. However, it was because of the darkness that Zhao Yun felt safe. Mu Lianfeng's hands continued, and the two quickly took off their clothes, and their bodies were pressed together. Zhao Yun experienced it for the first time, so her whole body was trembling. You. Be gentle. Zhao Yun whispered shyly. I know, Yun. Mu Lianfeng replied. The moment Zhao Yun felt something enter her body couldn't help but stiffen. For the first time, even after giving birth to Daodu, she still felt some pain, but the pain wasn't that intense. With Mu Lianfeng's next movements, the pain gradually disappeared, and a very comfortable feeling spread throughout her body. The two gradually reached the top of the clouds, and enjoyed the rare pleasure of intimacy. After the passion ended, Zhao Yun lay on the bed, panting heavily. She was exhausted, and the flush on her face didn't recede. Mu Lianfeng hugged Zhao Yun tightly in his arms, and there was a layer of sweat. It was sticky. It was a pity that it was inconvenient to take a bath in this era. Otherwise, after finishing this matter, taking a hot bath would definitely make him feel refreshed. Sleep. Mu Lianfeng planted another kiss on Zhao Yun's forehead. Zhao Yun replied. Perhaps it was late at night, or perhaps it was because she was too tired. After Zhao Yun closed her eyes, she quickly fell asleep. Early the next morning, Zhao Yun went to pick up Daodu and Tian Tian. Liang Jinchao saw that Zhao Yun's face was scratched, and asked about the situation last night with concern. Zhao Yun just replied casually, and didn't mention the thrilling incident last night, so that Liang Jinchao wouldn't be worried. In the next few days, nothing happened. Zhao Ping'er stayed with the third branch these days, and Liang Jinchao entertained her with good food and drinks. Seeing that Zhao Ping'er relied on her injury to eat this and that, Zhao Yun was very unhappy. Unfortunately, whatever she said to Liang Jinchao was useless. In this case, she didn't need to waste that effort. Chapter 16:10. After all, when the new house was built, it meant that she could move in. The whole family didn't have to squeeze into the small thatched house, which was very inconvenient. Moreover, the big house was spacious, so it was more comfortable than the small thatched house that leaked wind and rain. After Zhao Yun's house was built, she bought some candies from the town. Generally, when the villagers finished building a new house, they would stand on the roof and sprinkle some candies as a celebration to add joy and luck. This was a traditional custom in the village. Zhao Yun didn't want to save money, so she bought some candies. Of course, firecrackers were also necessary for the building to be completed. Zhao Yun also bought some firecrackers back. In the morning, when the villagers found out that Zhao Yun's house was going to be completed, they rushed to Zhao Yun's new house to join in the fun. When the candies were scattered, they could more or less snatch some. One had to know that the villagers were very poor, so how could they be willing to spend money to buy candies to eat? It was also good to snatch a piece of candy and give it to the children at home. Usually, the villagers didn't pay much attention to Zhao Yun's new house. They thought that something good could be built when the foundation was at the foot of the mountain. When they came to see Zhao Yun's house, they realized that they were wrong. Zhao Yun's house was built with at least 7 or 8 rooms. It looked very imposing. Moreover, Zhao Yun's house wasn't built with the same broken thatched houses as the other villagers, but with brick and tile houses. The cost of building this kind of brick and tile house was very expensive. It cost a lot of money to build a house. Ordinary people simply didn't have the money to build it. Zhao Yun not only built it, but also built such a big house. It must have cost at least dozens of silver. The villagers were all amazed at Zhao Yun's wealth. In the future, the richest family in the village would be Zhao Yun's family. But thinking about it, Zhao Yun was now hooked up with Mu Lianfeng, and Mu Lianfeng was the current heir apparent. Naturally, it was impossible for him to be poor. In addition to the beautiful brick house, Zhao Yun's walls were painted with white lime, which looked refreshing and bright. It was even more beautiful than the houses in town. If he lived in such a house, it would definitely be very comfortable. Unfortunately, ordinary villagers like them had no money. Not to mention building a big house like Zhao Yun's house, it was already good enough to have a few more ordinary thatched huts. Every family in the village lived together, and there were no extra rooms for people to live alone. The villagers were talking about Zhao Yun's house. Most of them were sighing that old Zhao's family was rich and their lives were getting better and better. In the morning, in the courtyard of old Zhao's house, Feng Zhangshe greeted Shen Pan, when Yun's house is finished, they will set off firecrackers and scatter candy. It will be very lively. Do you want to go out and join in the fun? Let's bring Yang Yang along, and we can grab more candy for Yang Yang to eat. Shen Panner's family was somewhat rich, so she didn't care about these small things. What she hated the most were the villagers who stared at some worthless things and treated them like treasures. Her mother-in-law, Feng Zhangxia, was the same, but Shenpaner couldn't say anything to Feng Zhangxia. If she offended Feng Zhangxia, as the daughter-in-law, her life in old Zhao's house wouldn't be easy. Chapter 1611. Shenpan couldn't help but refuse. She knew that Feng Zhangxia wouldn't say anything if she used Zhao Yangyang as a shield. Sure enough, as soon as Shenpan finished speaking, Feng Zhangxia's eyes turned. After thinking about it, she felt that Shenpan's words made sense, so she said to Shenpan, you're right. When the time comes, there will be too many people and it won't be good for Yang to go. If he gets hurt accidentally, it'll be too late to cry. Shenpan nodded. Yes, so mother, you should go. I'll take care of Yang at home. Feng Zhangxia quickly nodded. Okay. Then I'll go with Yang. Okay. When the time comes, I'll grab some candies to satisfy Yang's cravings. I haven't bought anything good for Yang to eat during this time. Feng Zhangxia muttered. Shenpan pursed her lips and didn't say anything. She was dissatisfied with Feng Zhangxia's behavior during this time. Because Xiao Tianhu and Jin Ju were about to get married, there were a lot of things they needed to spend money on. It would be a huge expense when the time came. Because Feng Zhangxia wanted to save money, she had been living frugally during this time. She couldn't bear to spend money on good things and was even stingy with Zhao Yangyang. Shenpan began to worry. If Feng Zhangxia was already like this, when her second sister-in-law married into the family in the future, the family would be even tighter. She didn't know how stingy Feng Zhangxia would be. Moreover, Zhao Tianhu wasn't as capable as Zhao Tianhu. As his mother, Feng Zhangxia would naturally make more plans for him. She would probably give whatever money she had to Zhao Tianhu and Jin Ju. She wouldn't think about Shenpan and Zhao Tianlong. Shenpan was annoyed at this thought. Even if she was dissatisfied, she couldn't say anything. After all, it wouldn't be good for her if things got out of hand and they split up. She had to find someone to take care of her and Zhao Yangyang. Otherwise, who would wash their clothes? Who would cook for them? Did she have to make him do it himself? That wouldn't do. She wasn't born to be a country bumpkin. However, everything would be fine after a while. When Zhao Tianlong came back, she would talk to him about splitting up. If Zhao Tianlong could pass the imperial examinations, he would be able to become an official in the future and his family would be rich. Zhao Tianlong could take care of his parents after he became rich, but he couldn't possibly take his younger brother and sister-in-law with him, right? Shenpaner didn't want to let anyone take advantage of her. Although they were brothers, there were some things that they had to be clear about. Yes, mother. Thank you for your hard work, mother. Shenpan replied resentfully. It's no trouble at all. Mother would also join in the fun if she went. Little girl Pan, it's actually quite lively. You can go out and take a look. Take Yang and stand further away. You shouldn't get hurt. Shenpan shook her head and refused. Mother, you can go. I won't go. Feng Zhangxia didn't insist. All right then, mother will go now. After saying that, Feng Zhangxia walked out of the room. At this time, Hu Chunhua happened to be in the yard. Feng Zhangxia called out to Hu Chunhua, Mother, Yun'er's house has been built. It will be very lively when they put down the firecrackers and sprinkle the sugar. Do you want to go and have a look? The two of us can go together. Hu Chunhua snorted coldly, her face full of displeasure. Feng Zhangxia asked curiously, Mother, what's wrong with you? Are you unhappy? Chapter 16:12. Feng Zhangxia became even more curious and asked, Mother, why is that? Why don't you go? The house that third brother built belongs to the eldest brother. There are at least 7 or 8 rooms. I'm afraid that there's only one house in our Shuilan village. After all, it has something to do with our old Zhao family. We'll be honored if we go. Hua Chunhua's expression became even uglier. She replied coldly, It has something to do with our old Zhao family. What can it have to do with us? They built such a big house for us to live in. Now that the third branch has achieved great success, what benefits do we get? Did they think of us? Hearing Hua Chunhua's words, Feng Zhangxia smiled embarrassedly, Mother, there's nothing we can do about it. Our old Zhao family separated from the family. Moreover, that house doesn't belong to third brother and third sister-in-law. It was built by Yuner. Then it has something to do with Yuner. We can't think of it. The more Feng Zhangxia said, the angrier Hua Chunhua became. That's reasonable, but they can't do that. I'm that girl's elder, right? Let's not talk about other people. Shouldn't they take me and her grandfather to live there? Isn't it just a matter of a house? Hearing Hua Chunhua's words, Feng Zhangxia finally understood why Hua Chunhua was angry. In the end, Hua Chunhua cared about her reputation. The third branch built such a big house. Everyone in the village was talking about how good the house was. In the end, Hua Chunhua, as the grandmother, couldn't live in it. She could only look at it. Naturally, she was unhappy. After all, a big house was more comfortable than a shabby thatched hut. Feng Zhangxia comforted her, Mother, why are you angry about this? Why don't you talk to third brother? He's a filial person and will definitely listen to you. When the time comes, third brother will nod and agree. Then you can live in it, right? Hua Chunhua was silent for a moment. Feng Zhangxia's words made sense. He would tell Zhao Wenhua about this later. Zhao Wenhua was Zhao Yuner's father. Could it be that he did not have any dignity in front of Zhao Yuner? You still can't make up your mind. All right, I'll talk to third brother about it later. Well, third brother is in the big house now. Let's go and have a look. It's rare to see such a lively thing in the village. Hua Chunhua nodded in agreement. All right then. It's good to go out for a walk and get some exercise. It's really boring at home. Haha, that's right. Mother, you should go too. Maybe the two of us can snatch more candies back, and then we can snatch more for Yang Yang. The reason why Feng Zhangxia pulled Hua Chunhua over so eagerly was that she wanted more people and more hands to snatch the candies. Otherwise, she would not have wasted so much time talking to Hua Chunhua. Then let's go, let's go. Hua Chunhua mumbled. Ah, all right. The two of them ran in the direction of Zhao Yuner's newly built big house. Meanwhile, Zhao Ping overheard the conversation between Hua Chunhua and Feng Zhangxia. Zhao Ping was very excited when she heard about the candies. She quickly got out of bed. Everyone was running to snatch the candies. Naturally, she could not be left behind. Chapter 16:13. Mother, I heard that father has finished building the house. He's going to set off firecrackers and scatter candy later. Zhao Ping mumbled. Liang Jinchao nodded and said, Yes. Ping what's wrong? Mother, I want to go too. Liang Jinchao frowned and said worriedly, Ping what do you think you're going to do? You can only lie down at home like this. Otherwise, if you pull on the wound on your body, what should we do? Zhao Ping pursed her lips and said, Mother, I'm fine. I've rested for so many days. I won't get hurt if I'm careful. Liang Jinchao was still worried. Ping, what if you get hurt? Actually, there's nothing to see. It's just setting off firecrackers and scattering candy. Mother, I'm going because I want to snatch the candy. Zhao Ping, muttered. Upon hearing that Zhao Ping, wanted to snatch the candy, Liang Jinchao stopped her even more. Ping, what's the point of snatching the candy? Later, I'll ask Yun, to leave some for you to eat. Zhao Ping, said disdainfully, Mother, Zhao Yun, is so stingy with me. Would she be so kind as to leave me candy to eat? I'd better snatch it myself. Otherwise, I'll be scolded by her if I take her candy later. Zhao Ping knew that she should be soft-mouthed after receiving a gift. Liang Jinchao sighed. Ping, then Mother will help you snatch the candy. You just rest at home and don't go out. Mother, why don't you let me go out? It's better if you help snatch the candy. The two of us can snatch more candy together. Liang Jinchao felt helpless after being tormented by Zhao Ping, He had no choice but to say, all right then. But Ping, don't be too rough when you snatch it, lest you hurt yourself. Zhao Ping, replied faintly, got it, got it. The two of them left the third branch's room together. Liang Jinchao was afraid that Zhao Ping's body would not be able to take it. Along the way, he reminded Zhao Ping, to slow down and not be too anxious. Zhao Ping, thought that Zhao Yun's family had built a big house, so she asked Liang Jinchao, Mother, the house is built. When will you move in? We'll talk about it after we get the furniture back. It'll probably be done in a day or two. It's very fast. Zhao Ping thought for a moment and asked, Mother, the house that Zhao Yun built this time is so big that it can definitely fit a lot of people. Liang Jinchao nodded and said, That's right. There are enough houses. This time, I specially built a few more. I'm just afraid that there won't be enough space for more people in the future. Mother, then can I bring Brother Yuan and his family over to live here later? Isn't it good for us to live together? You don't know, but my in-laws' house is even more run-down than ours. It's not comfortable at all. Since Zhao Yun built a house with enough rooms, then let us move in too. Zhao Ping said it very casually and did not feel that there was anything wrong with it at all. However, Liang Jinchao frowned and rejected directly, Ping, how can we do that? This has never happened before. How can we let your in-laws live with us? Mother, what's wrong with that? As long as there are enough houses. You're already living in a big house. You can't possibly let me go back to my in-laws' house to live in a run-down house alone, right? When Liang Jinchao heard Zhao Ping's words, he felt that Zhao Ping was actually not sensible at all even though she was already so old. Ping, it's not that Mother doesn't want to let you go back to your in-laws' house to live in a run-down house. It's just that there's no reason for two families to live together. Chapter 16:14. How could Zhao Ping listen to Liang Jinchao's words? She only felt that Liang Jinchao did not agree. If you don't want us to live there, then so be it. When I earn money later, I'll also build a big house to live in. Liang Jinchao's mouth twitched a little helplessly and said, Ping, girl, then I'll wait for you to earn money in the future. After walking for a while, the two finally arrived in front of Zhao Yun's newly built house. Although the house was built at the foot of the mountain, because the foundation was leveled, it looked good. In particular, the courtyard was quite big. Coupled with the big house, it looked very imposing. In the village, this kind of house was definitely luxurious and unique. When Zhao Ping and Liang Jinchao arrived, most of the villagers came to join in the fun, especially the children. Children were the most gluttonous. They hoped that when the candy was scattered, they could grab a few more candies to eat. The villagers gathered together were all chattering and exclaiming that Zhao Yun's newly built house was really luxurious. If they could live in this kind of house, it would be very comfortable. Unfortunately, they could only look at it. They could not live in it. After all, they were ordinary poor people and did not have so much money to build a house. Old Zhao's family is really lucky. In the village, their house is now the best built. Isn't that so? I don't know if the ancestors of old Zhao's family are really lucky. How did the whole family become rich in just a year? Didn't you hear that Zhao Baoshan built a tomb for the ancestors? It's probably because of the blessings of the old ancestor in heaven, that's why the old Zhao family has become prosperous. Hearing this, the villagers felt that it was very reasonable. Now, the only explanation that could explain the continuous happy events in old Zhao's family was the blessing of the ancestors. Otherwise, who could explain which family would have so many happy events in a year under normal circumstances? However, Zhao Baojun's family was the most unhappy about this reason. At that time, they had built the ancestral grave for the old ancestor's family. If this was a blessing, why didn't the old ancestor bless their family? Why did all the good things go to Zhao Baoshan's family? It was obvious that the elder ancestor had done it on purpose. If they had known earlier, they would not have gone to repair the ancestral tomb. There was no benefit in doing so. "Ah, it's going to be sweets," cried someone. Wait for me. We're setting off the firecrackers first." "What's the rush?" Zhao Wenhua first took out the firecrackers and exploded them. Then, he took the ladder and the candies and stood on the roof. The people who came to join in the fun were already waiting below, hoping that Zhao Wenhua would scatter the candies as soon as possible. Don't push. What are you doing?" "Exactly. Why are you squeezing?" "Ouch, you stepped on my foot." "Stop squeezing, it's so annoying." Seeing where Zhao Wenhua was standing, the crowd hurriedly squeezed in front of Zhao Wenhua. A group of people pushed each other, and the scene was a little chaotic. Everyone was afraid that they would not be able to snatch the candies and fought to be first. Zhao Yun looked at the villagers and shook her head. It would be good if they did not fight over the candies later. It was just some candies. As for that, Zhao Wenhua steadied himself and began to scatter the candies with the bag in his hand. Fortunately, Zhao Yun bought a lot. Otherwise, with so many people here, there would not be enough candies to snatch. Chapter 16:15. Zhao Wenhua was afraid that the fight would get too intense, so she hurriedly scattered a few more handfuls of candies in other directions. This way, the villagers would split up and fight for the candies, so that there wouldn't be too much chaos. One by one, the villagers squatted down and grabbed the candies on the ground, afraid that they would miss one and have it snatched away by someone else. When Zhao Ping saw the candy umbrella coming over, she hurriedly urged Liang Jinxiao, "Mother, hurry up and snatch the candies. Why are you wasting so much time?" Liang Jinxiao hurriedly squatted down, grabbed a few candies from the ground, and stuffed them into her pocket. Zhao Ping didn't fall behind. When she saw the candies beside her, she hurriedly reached out to grab them, not giving anyone a chance to snatch them away. When the candies beside her were all snatched, Zhao Ping hurriedly shouted at Zhao Wenhua, who was on the roof, "Father, hurry up and scatter more candies over here. Don't scatter them elsewhere." Zhao Ping's voice was very loud, so Zhao Wenhua naturally heard it and scattered a few more handfuls in Zhao Ping's direction. However, the other villagers rushed over like a swarm of bees and squeezed Zhao Ping out in an instant. She fell heavily to the ground, and pain immediately spread throughout her body. Zhao Ping was furious. When she saw the candy beside her, Xiaoping ignored the pain and hurriedly reached out to grab it. However, when Xiaoping was about to grab it, it was already too late. Another child's hand was faster than Xiaoping's and snatched the candy from Xiaoping's hand. Xiaoping angrily glared at the child who snatched her candy. This child was none other than Tai Chui, her young madam's precious grandson. Xiaoping frowned. If she didn't see wrongly, it was her ma who pushed her out with her buttocks. Now, her grandson was snatching her candy again. Xiaoping couldn't take it anymore and exploded. "You brat, hurry up and return the candy to me. Who told you to snatch it from me? You sure have guts," Xiaoping said angrily to Iron Hammer. Her face was cold and she looked very angry. Iron Hammer ignored Xiaoping completely. Instead, he stuck out his tongue at Xiaoping and said, "I'm not giving it to you. I'm not giving it to you. What I snatched is mine. Why should I give it to you?" Xiaoping became more and more angry. A little brat dared to be so presumptuous in front of her. He really didn't put her in his eyes. If she didn't make a move and teach him a lesson, wouldn't this child turn the sky upside down? Xiaoping endured the pain on her butt and got up from the ground. She walked in front of Iron Hammer and grabbed him by the collar. She threatened him, "Hurry up and return it to me. Otherwise, I'll beat you to death." Iron Hammer struggled in Xiaoping's hand. Unfortunately, Xiaoping was much bigger than him. Iron Hammer couldn't break free and shouted at Xiaoping, "Let go of me, let go of me." Xiaoping wouldn't let Iron Hammer go so easily. She continued in a fierce tone, "Give me the candy and I'll let you go. Otherwise." Iron Hammer ignored Xiaoping's threat and continued to struggle. He also kicked Xiaoping's leg a few times. Xiaoping felt a burst of pain. She gritted her teeth and glared fiercely at Iron Hammer, "You brat, you really turned the sky upside down. I'll teach you a lesson. It seems that you don't know what's good for you." Iron Hammer was a little scared by Xiaoping's fierce gaze. However, it was impossible for him to hand over the candy. Chapter 16:16. "Little brat, you won't let go of me. What are you going to do about it?" Tai Chui hurriedly shouted at Madame Hu, "Grandma, Grandma, someone is bullying me. Hurry and help me. A bad woman wants to beat me up." Madame Hu was originally focused on snatching candy from the ground and didn't know what was happening. When she heard Tai Chui shout, she looked over and saw that Xiaoping was actually touching Tai Chui. Tai Chui was Madame Hu's precious grandson, so Madame Hu naturally couldn't bear to see Tai Chui being bullied. Thus, she angrily rushed over to Xiaoping and questioned Xiaoping, "Ping, what are you doing? What right do you have to bully my Tai Chui? Did my Tai Chui offend you? How can you hit a child? You're already an adult, so how can you do that?" Xiaoping angrily said, "So what if I hit him? Who told him to snatch my candy? Tell him to return the candy to me, and I'll let him go." Upon hearing Xiaoping's words, Madame Hu became even angrier. She pointed at Xiaoping and scolded, "Ping, how can you be like this? How old are you, yet you're still snatching candy from a child? Moreover, this is your family's house. How can your own family run over here to snatch candy from others? Aren't you afraid of being laughed at?" Xiaoping didn't blush when she was scolded by Hu Shi. Instead, she said very matter-of-factly, "Who said that my family's candy can't be snatched by others? So what if I snatched it? Eldest young mistress, you knocked me down just now and injured me. I haven't even taken it to heart yet. Let's take it to heart now. Also, this brat kicked my leg a few times. It really hurt. Madame Hu wasn't someone who was easy to deal with. Upon hearing Zhao Ping's words, she immediately slapped her thigh and shouted, "Io, there's no justice in this world. There's really no justice in this world. How can she be like this?" At this moment, Zhao Wenhua finished scattering her candy. The villagers who came over to join in the fun also finished snatching their candy. When they heard Madame Hu's shout, they looked over at her. "What's going on? Why is it so noisy?" "Yeah, what's going on?" Seeing that the villagers were paying attention, Madame Hu began to complain, "Everyone, come and be the judge. Look at that girl Ping. What did that girl do? My family's iron hammer only snatched some candy, yet he's still holding on to my family's iron hammer and won't let him go. Right now, he's clamoring to teach my family's iron hammer a lesson." Hearing Madame Hu's words, the villagers began to condemn Zhao Ping. "What's wrong with this Zhao Ping? She's so calculative with a child." "That's right. He's already so old, yet he's still so immature. Who in our village would argue with a child?" Sai, the eldest daughter of old Zhao's third wife, is such a weirdo. She often does such things, so there's nothing strange about it. That's right, I've always heard that the eldest daughter of the third branch isn't a good person. It was one thing to be scolded by Madame Hu, but now, even the villagers were slandering her. Zhao Ping couldn't take it anymore and retorted, "It was clearly one of you old things who pushed me and fell. A little brat snatched my candy. How can it be that I'm being unreasonable?" Madame Hu pursed her lips and said, "Then I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't mean to hurt you. Iron Hammer is also a child." "That's right. Ping, lass, you're in the wrong. You're too calculative." Chapter 16-17. Today is an auspicious day for your family to build a new house. Don't make trouble, lass. You're making everyone unhappy and ruining this festive day. That's right. So what if she snatches a piece of candy? What's the big deal? Ping, don't be so calculative. The candy belongs to your family. You can eat as much as you want. Why must you fight with a child? The surrounding villagers were all helping Madame Hu and criticizing Zhao Ping. It was not that they were close to Madame Hu, but they really could not stand Zhao Ping's behavior. Zhao Ping was used to being arrogant and willful. It was difficult for her to yield to her. Ignoring what the surrounding people were saying, Zhao Ping continued to grab Iron Hammer by the collar and scolded him, "Hurry up and hand it over, little brat. Don't be so shameless." Madame Hu slapped her thigh and shouted to the villagers, "Fellow villagers, did you hear that? Ping is already acting like this. How can she be reasonable?" The villagers started to chatter again, criticizing Zhao Ping's behavior. Zhao Ping felt that it was all Madame Hu's big mouth that incited the villagers, so she glared at Madame Hu. A warning voice sounded, "Damned old hag, you'd better go overboard. Otherwise, I'll deal with you too." Oh my, did everyone hear that? This Ping even said that she'll deal with me too. Is this how you treat your elders? What kind of bad luck did old Zhao's family have to give birth to such a lass? Zhao Ping frowned. She already had a bad reputation for taking advantage of others. After Madame Hu made such a fuss, she reckoned that she would be criticized even more in the future. Thus, she felt like she had nowhere to vent her anger. Hearing the commotion and Liang Jinchao clearly saw the whole situation from the side, he knew that Zhao Ping had indeed gone overboard. No matter what, Iron Hammer was still a child. If he snatched a piece of candy, then let him snatch it. It wasn't like he had another piece of candy to eat. But Zhao Ping refused to let go of the hammer. Now, with such a ruckus, the third branch was seen as a joke by others. Seeing that Zhao Ping didn't intend to let go of the hammer, Madame Hu's eyes fell on Liang Jinqiao. She scolded Liang Jinqiao, third niece-in-law, why are you still in a daze? Why don't you hurry up and persuade Ping her? I don't know why your family members are fighting over the candy scattered by your own family. Weren't they usually snatched by outsiders? This is the first time the village has encountered such a thing. After Liang Jinqiao heard this, he felt a little embarrassed and smiled at Madame Hu. Then, he walked over to Zhao Ping and persuaded Zhao Ping hurry up and let go of the hammer. Let's just forget about this matter. Zhao Pinger curled her lips, her face filled with displeasure. Why should I? Mother, I don't agree. I won't let go. This child, later on, ask Yun to bring you more candy to eat. Don't be so calculative with Iron Hammer. No, mother, this little brat is very unreasonable. I can't stand seeing him like this. Liang Jinqiao sighed and felt a little tired. Ping, if you say let it go, then let it go. Don't make a fuss. If you continue to make a fuss, mother will be angry. Zhao Ping was silent for a moment, as if she was thinking about Liang Jinqiao's words. She felt that Liang Jinqiao was just bluffing and there was no need to pay attention to him. Chapter 16-18. Liang Jinqiao choked on Zhao Ping's words and her eyes were filled with disappointment. She had been serving Zhao Ping all these days. How could Zhao Ping not know? How could she say such words? It was really too sad. This girl was probably too naive. No matter how good she was to her, she wouldn't know. Ping, girl, it's not that I'm biased, but why are you making such a fuss on such a festive day? There are so many people here. Aren't you afraid of being laughed at? How old are you? There are some things that you should understand. Why are you still letting me talk to you? Zhao Ping wanted to say something, but she was interrupted by Liang Jinqiao. Hurry up and let go of Tai Chui. If you continue to make a fuss, you can go back to your in-laws' house. Even your maternal family can't keep you. When Zhao Ping heard that she was going back to her in-laws' house, Liang Jinqiao's attitude was still very firm. His face was cold and he didn't seem to be joking. Zhao Ping hesitated. She thought that if she went back to her in-laws' house, she wouldn't have so many good days. After all, Liang Jinqiao would provide good food and drink at her maternal family's house. Her life would be much more comfortable than at her in-laws' house. After hesitating for a while, Zhao Ping released Tai Chui's collar. However, before she let go of Tai Chui, she warned him, "You little brat, don't let me see you next time. Otherwise, I'll skin you alive." Tai Chui was so scared that he quickly rushed behind Madame Hu and complained, "Grandmother, look, this ugly monster is so fierce. He even threatened me." Madame Hu snorted and said, "With grandmother here, he wouldn't dare to do anything to you." Yes, yes. Tai Chui nodded heavily. He believed that with Madame Hu here, no one would bully him. As for Zhao Ping, she ran away from her unscathed. Tai Chui proudly stuck out his tongue at Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping was infuriated at first glance, but when she thought of Liang Jinqiao's words, she couldn't argue with Iron Hammer. In any case, the next time he saw Iron Hammer, he would definitely beat him up. When Madame Hu saw the hammer in front of her, she was still unhappy with Zhao Ping, so she continued to chatter. "I say, third niece-in-law, the children in the family should be properly disciplined. Don't be so immature at their age. If others see them, they will say that our old Zhao family has no manners. You've embarrassed old Zhao's family. Liang Jinchao pursed his lips and replied, Auntie, you're right. I'll take note of that. Madame Hu snorted, it's good that you know. After saying that, Madame Hu took the hammer and left. Since they had finished snatching the candies, there was no reason for them to stay. Zhao Ping angrily walked over to Liang Jinchao and said to Liang Jinchao, Mother, look at her. That face of hers. Liang Jinchao glared at Zhao Ping and said, Shut up and stop talking. Don't you find it embarrassing? Zhao Ping swallowed the words that she wanted to say. She saw Liang Jinchao's frightening expression. If she said another word, Liang Jinchao would probably fly into a rage. The surrounding villagers were still joining in the fun. Feng Zhangsha had managed to snatch some candies and was satisfied. However, because there were so many people, on average, each person did not manage to snatch a lot of candies. She only wanted to let her children have a taste of the candies. Now that the commotion over Zhao Ping's matter was over, the villagers started to talk about Zhao Yun's house again. Feng Zhangsha saw that Zhao Wenhua seemed to have kept some candies after scattering them. She started to think about the candies in Zhao Wenhua's hands. Chapter 16-19. Third brother, today is your family's big day. Congratulations. Feng Zhangsha said with a smile. Zhao Wenhua also smiled and replied, Thank you, sister-in-law. Third brother, look. So many people came today to join in the fun. Your third branch is really proud. You built such a big house. Everyone in the village is envious of you. Zhao Wenhua's face also revealed a proud smile. The house is really big, but it's all thanks to Yun-er. Otherwise, how could Yun-er's mother and I get so much money to build the house? Feng Zhangsha smiled and replied, That's right. Yun is really capable. She's the most capable person in old Zhao's family. Zhao Wenhua laughed heartily. Sister-in-law, don't just praise Yun-er. If we're talking about capability, who in old Zhao's family is more capable than Tianlong? When Tianlong's child becomes a provincial official in the autumn examination, he can become an official. Then, you'll be the wife of an official. In our village, only you have this good fortune. Don't you think so, sister-in-law? Speaking up to this point, Feng Zhangsha also felt proud, and a proud smile appeared on her face. When it came to their family's Tianlong, there was indeed no one more capable than Zhao Tianlong. Of course, this still had to wait. She could only show off when Zhao Tianlong really passed the examination. Otherwise, she would definitely be laughed at by others. They're all capable. It's all old Zhao's good fortune. That's right. Zhao Wenhua sighed. Feng Zhangsha stared at the candy in Zhao Wenhua's hand. Third brother, can you give me some of your candy? I'll give it to my Yang when we get back. Zhao Wenhua hesitated for a moment. He was too embarrassed to refuse, so he grabbed a handful and gave it to Feng Zhangsha. Sister-in-law, Daodu and Tianfu still have to eat the rest. Tianyu didn't come today. You have to give some to Tianyu later. Feng Zhangsha replied, Okay, that's good. It was enough to give her a handful of candies. Anyway, it was a profit. At this time, not far away, many old ladies from the village surrounded Hu Chunhua and said, Aunt Hua, you are really lucky. You can live in such a big house later, right? Yes. Auntie Hua, I really envy you for being able to live in such a big house. All of us are working hard for the sake of the younger generation. Only you are the most fortunate. How many people would be envious if they could enjoy a good life in their later years? Hu Chunhua's expression immediately turned ugly when she heard that. Feng Zhangsha saw Hu Chunhua's eyes and knew what Hu Chunhua was thinking. She pulled Zhao Wenhua to Hu Chunhua and said, Mother, tell third brother to move a room for you and father to live in. Zhao Wenhua was stunned and didn't understand what Feng Zhangxue meant. Sister-in-law. What are you talking about? Zhao Wenhua asked weakly. Hu Chunhua was too embarrassed to say anything, so she gave Feng Zhangxue a look. Feng Zhangxue smiled and explained, third brother, look at how big your house is and how many rooms there are. Why don't you move a room for father and mother to live in? Father and mother are old. At their age, living in a big house must be much more comfortable. Third brother, mother always talks about how filial you are. Now that your third branch has a big house, you should naturally bring father and mother to enjoy life together. You can't let them live in that rundown house, right? Chapter 1620. Actually, he had never thought of letting Hu Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan move in together. After all, Zhao Yun was the one who paid for the house, and Zhao Yun only said that the third branch would move in. She did not mention Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua. In addition, their old Zhao family had split up, and now they were living their own lives. How could they still live together? He could not make the decision on this matter. If Hu Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan really wanted to move in, they had to get Zhao Yun's permission first. Zhao Wenhua hesitated and did not know what to say. Feng Zhangxue hurriedly said, I say, third brother, isn't it just a matter of one house? Your third branch's family has so many rooms, and you definitely won't be able to fill them all. What's wrong with giving one room to your parents? Don't tell me you don't want your parents to live in an empty house. Sigh, my family doesn't have money. Otherwise, your eldest brother and I would definitely bring our parents to live in such a good house. Zhao Wenhua was a little embarrassed by Feng Zhangxue's words. His sister-in-law had not built a house yet, so it was easy for her to say it. If she really built a house, he did not know what would happen. However, his family would build a house first and wait for Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua to move in. Then, his sister-in-law would continue building. Those two old people could not move from one big house to another, and they would not live with the first branch. However, Feng Zhangxue's words made him look too unfilial as a son. His parents had raised him up with great difficulty, and in the end, he could live in a big house and enjoy life, but he did not bring his parents along. But, sister-in-law. Zhao Wenhua was about to explain something, but when Hu Chunhua saw Zhao Wenhua's unhappy expression, she angrily interrupted Zhao Wenhua and reprimanded Zhao Wenhua. Third brother, you are an unfilial son. When you were young, you were raised by your mother's feces and urine. When you grew up, you completely forgot about your mother, right? When the villagers heard this, they also scolded Zhao Wenhua. What? So old Zhao's third branch did not let Aunt Hua and Uncle Zhao live there. How can this be? Such a big house, as a son, shouldn't he bring his parents to live in it? If I gave birth to such an unfilial son who built a big house and didn't let me live in it, I would definitely break his legs later. How can people lose their hearts when they have money? Have they forgotten who raised him? Hearing the criticism around him, Zhao was a little. If word spread like this, wouldn't he become the representative of the village's unfilial son? Zhao Yunlong became more and more embarrassed. After thinking for a while, he could only say, Mother, it's not that I don't want to bring you and father to live together. It's just that this house isn't mine to begin with. It's Yun who paid for it. This title deed and house deed are all written in Yun-er's name. Whoever she wants to live in can live in. Yun-er's mother and I can't make the decision. Hu Chunhua glared at Zhao Wenhua. Third brother, isn't this an excuse? Yun-er, this girl is your daughter. Don't tell me she doesn't listen to you as her father. I don't believe that she will say no if you say yes. Of course I say no. Zhao Yun's cold voice drifted over. Seeing that Zhao Wenhua was being bullied, if she didn't stand up for Zhao Wenhua now, wouldn't she just let him be bullied? Chapter 1621. When she was living a hard life, she didn't see old Zhao's family helping her. Now that the third branch could live a comfortable life, why should she bring others to enjoy it with her? What did they do? Feng Zhangshe pretended to be a good person and said, "Yuner, you can't be like this. After all, your grandmother is your grandmother and your elder. Now that you can live in a big house, you should bring her with you. When you're old, you can't stand the torment. Let your grandfather and grandmother live in a big house in their later years and enjoy some happiness." The surrounding people echoed, "That's right. What's wrong with bringing elders to live in such a big house? After all, it's still empty. As a family, you should be more filial. Yuner, don't be too stingy. Bring the two elders to live with you." Seeing that the villagers tied this matter to morality, if she didn't bring Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua to live with her, she would probably be labeled by the villagers. However, there were too many situations like this. Zhao Yuner didn't care what others said. Anyway, she wouldn't agree or give in. "Eldest aunt, it's easy for you to say that. Back then, I was chased out of old Zhao's family. You know how much I suffered. At that time, you didn't care about me and even stabbed me in the back, making my life more difficult. Why didn't I see you do anything? Now that I'm living in a big house, it has nothing to do with old Zhao's family. Why should I bring my grandfather and grandmother to live with me? Besides, after we separated from the family, I established a female household. You didn't want to have anything to do with me in the first place. Now that you see that I'm living a good life, you eagerly come over." Zhao Yuner said mercilessly. Hearing this, Feng Zhangshe felt a little embarrassed, and Hu Chunhua's face turned red with anger. The surrounding villagers with a conscience still said something fair. Yuner's words aren't unreasonable. At that time, old Zhao's family went too far. Yuner suffered a lot. That's right. Yuner really didn't have it easy. It wasn't easy for her to get to where she is today. He remembered that there was a year when he almost starved to death. Fortunately, the people in the village helped him. Otherwise, he would have lost his life. At that time, old Zhao's family didn't do anything. They were stingy and didn't care about Yuner at all. There's nothing wrong with what Yuner is doing now. Previously, old Zhao's family had gone too far. In reality, there were too few people who repaid evil with good. Therefore, everyone could understand Zhao Yuner's actions. They didn't catch Zhao Yuner to criticize Zhao Yuner anymore. Hu Chunhua was unwilling, but she couldn't say anything. However, she was still unhappy that she wasn't able to live in Zhao Yuner's big house. Feng Zhangshe didn't think much of it. She just thought that if Zhao Tianlong became rich in the future, Hu Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan wouldn't still want to live with the first branch, right? She was naturally unwilling. If she lived with them, wouldn't it mean that the first branch had to take care of the two old people? They were already separated from the family, so what was the point? Most importantly, she didn't like Hu Chunhua. The old woman was usually very talkative and liked to point fingers. She used her status as a mother-in-law to order her to do this and that. If she didn't do a good job, she would be scolded. It was better not to live with them. Chapter 1622. Feng Zhangshe was thinking that if she could persuade Hu Chunhua to build her own house, Hu Chunhua would definitely not live with the eldest branch after she built her own house. When Zhao Tianlong passed the provincial examination, she would not have to worry about Hu Chunhua making a fuss and living with them. Hu Chunhua frowned. Build your own house. Yes. Build your own house. Mother, Didn't little sister give a lot of betrothal gifts? Why keep so much money and not spend it? You might as well build a house. It won't cost too much. Sometimes, you have to enjoy it. Otherwise, you won't be able to bring it with you when you die. Who will you save all that money for? You and father are getting old. Who knows how many more years you can enjoy it? Hui Chunhua's face darkened when she heard this. She started scolding Feng Zhangxia, eldest daughter-in-law. How can you say that? Are you cursing your father and I to die? How can you talk like that? Feng Zhangxia suddenly realized that she had let it slip. Although what she said was true, it was taboo for the elderly. Feng Zhangxia pursed her lips and smiled embarrassedly. Mother, no, I'm not cursing you and father. I just want to advise you to enjoy it as much as you can now. Don't regret it when you can't. It's fine if you don't have money, but if you have money, why should you save it? Hui Chunhua sighed and said worriedly, you can't say that. You can only be at ease when you have money in your hands. If you spend it, what if you need it urgently in the future and can't take out the money? Feng Zhangxia pursed her lips and smiled. Mother, you can't say that. How can you spend too much money in the future? Moreover, mother, think about it. Little sister married such a rich man. If you really don't have money, can't you just look for little sister? Hui Chunhua was silent for a moment. She thought that Feng Zhangxia's words made sense. She had forgotten that she had a daughter who was rich. Thus, she gritted her teeth and said, fine, we'll build a house. That Yun girl is very arrogant and stingy. She likes to haggle over every little thing. Later, I'll build my own house to piss her off. Feng Zhangxia giggled in response. That's right, mother. Building your own house will be so carefree. You don't have to live under someone else's roof. Eldest daughter-in-law, what you said makes sense. I'm already so old, but I can't stand that wretched girl's anger. Later, I'll discuss it with your father and buy a house. Ha, okay, mother. Feng Zhangxia smiled even more happily, seeing that Hui Chunhua was finally convinced by her. Now that the third branch is about to move out, Hui Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan will also have to move out when they build a house. Would have 2 rooms have 2 roomses have a house have a house. Since Zhao Tianhu was about to get married, they definitely had to build a house for Zhao Tianhu's wedding. They couldn't wait for Zhao Tianhu to get married and squeeze in the same house with them. He had to inform Zhao Wenhua and ask Zhao Wenhua to give the empty room to Yun, or his first branch to be used as Zhao Tianhu's wedding room. Thinking that the matter of the room could be resolved, Feng Zhangxia's original worry dissipated. She had to inform the second and fourth branches before they left, lest the second and third branches snatch it away. Feng Zhangxia hurried to Zhao Wenhua and said to Zhao Wenhua, third brother, eldest sister-in-law has something to discuss with you. Chapter 1623. Feng Zhangxia seemed a little embarrassed as she said that. Third brother, you know that Tianhu is about to get married. But we don't have that many rooms when we're all living together. Your third branch is about to move out of old Zhao's house and live in such a big house. After you move out, can you give Tianhu's house to use as his wedding room? After Zhao Wenhua heard this, if her sister-in-law hadn't come over to ask for their third branch's house because of Zhao Tianhu, she probably wouldn't have agreed. She thought about how her nephew, Zhao Tianhu, treated her third branch very well and would help them out whenever they needed. Now that Zhao Tianhu was about to get married and lacked a house, and since her third branch was about to move out, it wasn't impossible to give a house to Zhao Tianhu. Zhao Wenhua thought for a moment before nodding and saying, eldest sister-in-law, that's fine. After we move out, the room will be used as Tianhu's wedding room. After hearing Zhao Wenhua's words, Feng Zhangxia happily thanked him and said, third brother, thank you so much. Our Tianhu's wedding room problem is finally solved. Otherwise, I don't know how to get a house for him. Zhao Wenhua's mouth twitched. Eldest sister-in-law, you don't have to thank me. I'm not doing this for your sake. It's Tianhu who finally got married. As his uncle, I naturally have to help if I can. Feng Zhangxia's face was full of smiles. Then I still have to thank third brother. When we go back, help Tianhu decorate. Hee, the two children's wedding day is approaching. We have to prepare well. Zhao Wenhua responded, yes, we have to prepare. The sooner we marry the girl, the sooner we can. But there's something on my mind. Tianhu isn't young anymore. Haha, that's right. Feng Zhangxia smiled and agreed. The villagers gathered in front of Zhao Yuner's house for a while. Seeing that it was almost time for lunch, they began to disperse one by one. Zhao Yuner looked at the house that had been built. Tomorrow, she would go to the town and bring back all the furniture. After that, she would be able to move in. It had only been 2 days since they moved out of old Zhao's courtyard. When the time came to move into a big house, life would be much better. At the very least, they wouldn't have to squeeze into a small, run-down house. After making do for a period of time, he finally got through it. Zhao Yuner had purposely added another floor to the brick house to make it into a loft. Therefore, living in such a house would not be as stuffy as living in a small thatched cottage because there was an extra floor above. He would not feel uncomfortable when he had to urinate, defecate, or heatstroke. As for tomorrow, after the furniture was brought back and the decorations were done, she would invite her family to have a banquet to celebrate. There was no need to invite anyone else for the banquet. Old Zhao's family was enough. This was the custom of the countryside. Liang Jinqiao and Zhao Wenhua had mentioned it before. It was not difficult to organize a simple banquet. She just had to buy more side dishes to maintain the meal. There was no need for the dishes to be too good. Some fish was already considered a sumptuous meal. The house was empty and there was nothing to see. Zhao Yuner called Zhao Wenxuwei and Liang Jinqiao back. On the way back, Zhao Ping'er looked at Zhao Yuner with hidden bitterness. She wished she could rush up and fight with Zhao Yuner. She also knew that she had not fully recovered from her injuries. It was probably impossible for her to deal with Zhao Yuner. She could only grit her teeth and endure it. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.